Here we go. Welcome to episode 19 of the OurTeam podcast. And it's been probably the quietest week in 2K history. I'm sure all my guests agree. Not much to talk about. Just some minor things like bans and unauctionable cards. And I think there were some spotlights at some point as well. But yeah, it's been one of those weeks. Don't usually kick off the podcast with a disclaimer, but I'm going to. If you are blinkered to any point of view, if you are pure anti-2K, pure anti-MT sites celebrating the downfall of if you are any of these people, I'm sure someone else is streaming. Go check them out. Right. Let me introduce the cast. So,
did you use the word blinkered?
Yeah, blinkered.
What is that? That is. I'm sorry. You need to dumb that down for Americans. I don't know what that means.
So horses, you know the things that they have on the side.
Okay, I thought you were going to try to explain a horse to me just now. I was like, sir.
I was like, how deep do you need me to go with this? A horse is a kind of large-sized mammal. Ludes, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm still alive out here, so it's fun.
I mean, that's the levels, is it? That's the standard of positivity.
That is the 2K standard of positivity at the current moment. So we're good.
I mean, you pulled something this week, despite the fact you're.
We're not talking about that.
Oh,
right now.
we will. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good, man. I really enjoyed my week of playing 2K. Without any issues. So
you didn't need to start like that.
Maybe you need to go watch someone stream.
I didn't say anything. I said I played the game this week.
Yeah, not smug at all. Look at that face. Mojo, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. I can't speak for nobody on this podcast. I'm just grateful to be here. Just grateful just to be a part of this wonderful community.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all.
We do have a wonderful community.
We do, man.
Matt, your skin is glowing, man. I need your skincare routine.
Oh man, you know what that is, man? All that is just juices and berries, my man. Juices and berries.
Juices and berries. That was wild. Jacob,
coming to America.
What's good? It is a coming to America reference. Yeah. Jacob, how you doing?
What's good, fellas? I guess that part of the introduction this week is just to state whether you're banned or unbanned. I am banned, so take that into consideration for my opinions today. But also don't be mad if I'm not like trashing 2K, because a lot of the other stuff outside of being banned that they've done recently, I'm a pretty big fan of. So I'm sure we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we just saw Jacob do an awkward that was like not an intro that was not awkward at all. That's wild.
I thought that was pretty healthy. I thought that was a pretty.
That was good. It was good. Yeah. It was
well,
solid
I'm trying to change my reputation on those. It just makes it even more awkward once it's mentioned. Oh, Jacob with the awkward intro already set go, and I'm like, okay.
Have you been rehearsing?
No, I don't think that's not rehearsed. Just mentally in the back of my head, just say something. Act natural. That's kind of what I was thinking there.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Yep.
Okay. Exactly. Well, speaking of awkward intros, let's go DBG.
Okay. All right. Hello, this is attorney Michael Curley, and I'm going to be representing my client DBG in this podcast on the grounds of wrongful termination from NBA 2K23 MyTeam. I hope that Judge Jazz, as well as a jury of his peers, find my client not guilty on all grounds of his termination from NBA 2K23 MyTeam. And I hope a resolution can be came at the end of this as to a way that my client can continue to play the game that is his occupation.
You look like you're in divorce court.
Dun, dun, dun.
No, it has divorce court vibes.
You're lucky that I didn't show you the picture I have of you.
I wonder what's wrong with me there. That's crazy. I don't know, man.
Of you.
Look at Jacob back there. You want to talk about me?
Yeah, Jacob had it the absolute worst. Can you explain to me why you
Jacob looks like he's mid-fart, dude.
No, that picture right there is from a clip of me eating the hottest wings from Buffalo Wild Wings during a subathon.
No, it's not. That picture is just a random pic still from the first podcast you did.
Yeah, that's a podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the same shirt and headband I was wearing for that picture. And for whatever reason, when you Google Unbeatable Jacob, it's like the first picture that comes up. I don't know why.
It doesn't. Nothing comes up when you Google Unbeatable Jacob review. I tried.
You probably gotta. I think you gotta do like my actual Twitch username, like Unbeatable_Jacob. It's weird.
I like how DBG tried to be shady, and then Jacob just like shut it down and just gave him like a genuine fix to the.
He basically said he's irrelevant on Google. And
Yeah.
that's rough.
No, you just gotta connect. You gotta connect the words the right way that picks the algo picks it up. That's what you gotta do. Trust me, I've messed
He's
around with
still
it before.
going.
I've done this before. We can, we can move on.
Yeah, we should. DBG, can you explain to me why the picture you've used of me is on the cover of a metal CD that I released in 2011?
Because I typed in your name, it was the first thing that came up.
That is me 10 years younger. That is why. Why couldn't I get a screenshot from the podcast?
Because
That's a
I
good
needed
point.
you as a judge.
Is
So
that
I needed
what
the
came up?
stern crossed arms.
Is that what came up
You
when
need
you
to be
searched
serious.
KillaJosh?
No, nothing comes up when you search KillaJosh.
No, something came up. You know what? I'm glad you said it. Look, my YouTube page comes up and my TikTok.
Yeah, you
Look.
don't post faces on your YouTube. You don't post your face on your YouTube page.
I don't need to post my face.
He did post one face on like 30 thumbnails once. The same face.
He did the JD on it.
Why are we just taking shots this whole podcast?
He did the JD crossover,
I'm
same
taking
face.
shots.
Strays are real.
Or the Mr. Beast. Or the Mr.
I'm
Beast.
literally taking shots right now.
We're just setting the energy for
These
the
aren't
whole-
even strays. These are just full on shots at this point.
Josh, is that a new hole in your wall?
No, this is the same hole. I just want to I'm tired of trying to hide it every week.
You
it makes it awkward.
You've never tried to hide
I'm
it.
tired of- You guys know that me and the hole, we are one. One day you're gonna see it, and then it's gonna be covered. You're gonna be like, "Oh my god, he fixed the hole in the wall."
He's
I don't
gonna
know
show
when.
up on the podcast one week just covered in drywall.
Yeah.
That's the whole
With the overalls, yeah. Okay, so we should get into this. I don't know how long this podcast is going to be. I'm just going to kind of repeat that disclaimer as we go. Like, we are going to cover everything, right? I've got 10 pages of notes. We're going to get into everything, the downsides of VC, downsides of MT sites. Some stuff is going to be hard to hear. Some stuff is going to be controversial. You got to approach this with an open mind if you want to get something out of it. Otherwise, it's genuinely pointless listening. I think through this podcast, we will get to a solution. There are a couple of solutions that I've kind of got to, while putting this together. And the conversation will get us there. But yeah, if you're invested in the healthy conversation, the debate of all of this, the absolute truth that will be presented by everyone here, then yeah, you will enjoy this. Get involved in the chat and we'll get moving. So
if you're invested in 6 people trying to work through 10 pages of notes and getting to maybe the bottom of the first page in 3 hours, you're going to enjoy this.
Yeah, I think, yes. Yeah, okay. Cool. Let's just open this up. Let's get an intro on this from everyone. Who's been banned? Who hasn't been banned? How's everyone feeling about it? Mojo, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll open it up. I can be the first one on here to say, yes, my main account was banned. I admit to my faults. I made errors. Whether I felt like I was right or wrong, no matter how I feel, it was under TOS. And under that, I respect it, I acknowledge it, and I'm going to leave it at that. There's nothing more to say. I'm going to do my time, do my bid, and keep it moving, and just keep on playing 2K. Now, one thing I will say is I did have a no money spent account that was taken down, which it shouldn't have been, but that's another story. I won't get into it. If they felt like it needed to be, taken down, hey, it's their call, but I'm going to leave it at that. There's a lot to it. How do I feel right now? I am in a conundrum because it is what it is. A better part of me want to say that it is what it is, but also I do have grievances. And I'm sure there's people out there that might think, why do you have grievances? You did what you did. Well, I mean, that's just the way I feel. But the better part of me, Jazz, is I don't feel any type of way. I'm just going to keep it moving. I know there's other people that feel differently. I'm just going to keep it moving regardless and keep on doing my thing. But there's so much more behind it. And there's so much more that I'm sure we all going to get into concerning odds and the reasoning behind it and whatnot. I know there's people out there that are empathetic, and there's people that are not, who feel holier than thou that they didn't know what the case may be. And there's no place for that here. I want to be clear. I can't speak for anybody else here, but I'm gonna say it for the podcast. There's no place for that here. And the toxicity that I've seen towards other content creators, other people, just regular people, that may or may have not been affected, this is wild. And I want to say point blank, period, that there is no place, and should be no place in the 2K community for that.
Matt, can I just clarify something? So your main account got banned. Did your other account get banned as well? Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. Now I have an account that I use that I ripped. Everybody knows I ripped on that. It's free and clear. Okay.
Right.
But that one, and like I said, it was no money spent, and I don't know what happened with that, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we might be able to answer that, because I think it's starting to become clear why these kind of secondary bans are happening on accounts that aren't involved in this activity. But yeah,
right. Where's the suit at, DBG? Well,
yeah. What just happened?
You didn't even defend yourself in court.
Yeah, you didn't have your chance to speak.
Oh no, he's ready.
Oh god, okay.
Oh
All right.
dear God. Okay.
The suit's gone. Unfortunately, it is incredibly hot, and I'm not ruining my good suit, my one suit and shirt, from sweating through it on a podcast. There's going to be a time where I need that. It's been dry cleaned. I'm not ruining it for the podcast. I'm sorry. I'll go to Iowa. I'm not ruining my suit.
So the place where you feel cool is just
I promise.
bedroom.
Thibodeau's lap, basically, is where you feel most comfortable, on his lap.
I've often wondered if that's a bedroom or a walk-in closet for a long period of time.
Closet.
Is it?
Yeah.
We all have theories on this. Okay, cool. It's not just me.
All right. Jacob, talk to us. You obviously said you've been banned. What's been the overall thought process last week or so?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. It's a lot to get into off rip. I was banned. This ain't my first rodeo. I don't beat around the bush, even on my streams or nothing like that. Yeah, I bought a lot of empty, not just a little bit. They didn't catch me lacking on no petty charges out here, man. I was top of the list, probably not really. People definitely spend more than I do on Tyson, but no, I mean, I
saw
haven't bought
15
packs.
million Himadou Diallo. I don't think you're on the top of the list, Avon Barksdale.
What a dumbass that guy. Yeah, wow.
Hey, and it just no, Himadou is a piston.
Right? Like
That's all I'm gonna say.
Tag him and you get blocked, and you're like, oh, like what? What did you?
Okay, this is completely off topic, but can we stop like bringing attention to people clearly trying to skirt the rules? I mean, I don't know. When did snitching become cool in the MyTeam community?
Man.
I've seen more people throwing names around that shouldn't be in their mouths, posting screenshots of this selling for that. Mind your business, fellas. Like
They're throwing names.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Are you kidding me? Throwing names? I've seen MT purchases brought up from 2019 trying to expose people this week.
And did
I've
those
seen a
people
lot
get
of dry snitching. That's just a different. That's a.
Who's the
adding
MT
people.
I'm not going to ask the name of I'm not going to say his name because it's this podcast, but there is an MT seller that every single person who has said anything negative about MT that's ever bought MT from him, he's posting their DMs.
That's powerful.
Well, we can't be posting DMs, fellas. Mind your business. If you see something on the auction house that doesn't look natural, don't tweet it for likes, man. Just let it be, man. Like, you just mind your business. It's an easy concept. But yeah, I'm banned. I don't really care that much. I'm going on vacation Thursday, anyways. Been playing a little Madden. I tried to start like a no money spent account, but 2K don't even bother banning mine because I got Seti Osman and realized I don't even feel like grinding for a new account. So like I don't really care. Like I don't really feel one way or the other about it, to be honest. Like yeah, I'm surprised I haven't got banned sooner. Like, you know, I've been doing it for a long time. So
okay. I mean, in terms of the kind of snitching thing, I mean, there's one person that people have been kind of continuously trying to expose. I just want to say I think it's gross. I just want to give that opinion, and then we can move on. Yeah. Josh.
Right now, so I'm not banned at the moment. How I feel about it, I don't really feel. If you did violate TOS, I don't feel bad because, like, you know, it's something that's obviously it's a rule. I don't feel bad. People who've been wrongfully banned, I do feel bad for them. I'm just kind of surprised, like, at how sudden it happened, and like the last thing I remember happening before it happened, I remember I was on Twitter. I seen a Cam Reddish go for like 7 million, and I screenshotted it because I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I posted it. The next day I wake up, it's a bunch of bans, and I'm like,
"You accidentally snitched on the entire."
I may have. I just thought it was crazy. I just thought, like, is this a soup Cam Reddish? I didn't even think about the transfer of, you know, funds.
Yeah.
So I just really crazy.
Cam Reddish went for 7 million. That's what you thought.
No, that's the first thing that came to mind. I didn't think, oh my god, they're transferring.
I mean, he could have been super souped. Like, you don't know.
It's crazy though. It is crazy though to see that though. I'm not gonna lie. Like after, like, I just wake up on my timeline, everyone's like, oh, they got me. I'm like, what is everyone talking about? I'm at work, mind you. So it's like, it was crazy to see. Outside of that though, I'm really happy with content, and, you know, everything, like the spotlights. I don't even grind the game. I've been grinding, so that's really where I'm at right now.
All right, Ludes, let's go.
Oh, I am not banned because I live a cowardly lifestyle. So, it is funny though, because like 3 days before the ban, I don't really care to say this or not. Like, I don't care if I say this because I didn't actually do it, but like 3 days before the ban, I was sitting on like 75,000 MT, which is like the lowest amount of MT I've had since probably like 2K18. And I was like, you know what, dude? It's time to be a rebel, man. I should just do it. I should let them have access to my PayPal. I don't even care at this point. Then I was like,
actually thought about it?
Oh yeah, heavily. I was like, yeah, dude, I should just go do it. I should just buy like a little mill real quick. Why not? Who cares? No one cares anymore. Like, no one's cared for 3 years. And then I didn't do it, like I said, due to cowardice. And then 3 days later, I wake up and the entirety of the community is banned. And I was like, whew. We got lucky there. We got a little lucky there. So I decided to just not do it and just rip like 200K and hope for the best. I don't know. My thoughts on it. It's like, I think I'm usually not a fan of, I don't know, dude, corporate authoritarianism, but like, whatever. They have it in the TOS. I mean, anybody who bought MT, like, you know that this could be bannable. Like, everyone knows that. Everyone's had a favorite content creator that's been banned for promoting it at some point. So it's like, I feel like majority of people do know, but there is a good subsection of people that do not know. Mm-hmm. And they're not being informed of this by the people who are marketing MT to them, which is not chill. So that kind of needs to be said as well.
The most controversial thing I'm going to say on this whole podcast relates to that. But yeah, I'll say it later.
Yeah, I mean, my thought on it is, if you knew it was against TOS and you got banned, I don't really think it's something that you can go on the internet and complain about, because you knew at the end of the day, you've seen so many people get banned. It's the reason I never did it in the first place, because I speak out against 2K and what they do a lot. And I just figure if they're going to ban someone, they're probably going to ban me first. So that's why I don't do it.
That was a valid risk assessment.
Yeah.
Did you just say you first?
Well, me in the first wave, I should state. The first wave of creators that would get banned for purchasing MT would probably be myself. I do go a little hard sometimes, but I don't know. It's just crazy. I will say, very hot take, and I'm sure people are not going to enjoy me saying this in the chat. I've had more fun this week since the bans playing the game than I have all year prior to it.
I agree with you, Lutz. I actually have been.
Well, the game's also
have you been playing Unlimited?
Yeah, from like a selfish point of view, like I've personally had more fun this. I don't know, dude, the last like 5 days than I had the entirety of 6 months leading up to it.
What percentage do you think of that is the factor of the people who have all the OP teams being banned, and then, or also do you think it's more of a factor of just the new cars that came out, the spotlights and like that type of stuff?
No, it's 100% the fact that all the people got banned, because it's allowed. I think it allowed a lot of people like myself, who probably were staying off the online streets for a while because they would get bopped in Unlimited almost immediately, to feel a bit more of a confidence to go online and play. So the teams I've been matching up with, and I have had no problem finding games. I've seen people say they've been waiting for hours for games. I haven't waited longer than 30 seconds for a game on Northeast. So
accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. I haven't had a single issue finding a game.
The matchups I've been having have been very close to my actual skill level and close to my actual team for the first time all year. So
for me, it's different though, because Jazz actually helped me build my team, because I had a disaster team.
Your team was from like season 2 of Test.
Oh no, season 3. Early season.
I don't want to talk.
I don't know.
I don't want to talk about disaster teams. Okay, I have the first ever in the history of my team money spent, no money spent squad.
Yeah, you've spent money and have nothing to show for it. Yeah.
My Xbox squad.
Oh, for crying out loud, DBG.
Yeah, it's probably pretty bad.
I spent every single coin I had in that account locking in the useless cards. So I had Gale, Goodrich, and Battier on my squad. I'm like,
okay, all right. Battier is pretty bad.
Battier is my small forward.
Oh, Jesus.
DBG, talk to me about your week.
So basically, the ban wave happens, and obviously I got banned. Like, if you've seen, there's a reason I'm constantly able to lock in for the Battiers of the world. I've wasted all my MT on those useless cards over the year. That's how I've wasted all my MT.
Yeah.
But Basically, because people were almost posting badges almost like getting banned as almost like some people almost like a badge of honor, being like, oh, if you're not banned, you're just a shill. And like my whole thing when it comes to the ban is I knew the risks, and I've been banned plenty of times in our 2Ks. People didn't know because I inherently know the risk, and I never want to encourage anyone else to do the risk. And I know by me stating that I got banned and publicly saying I bought MT, and I know that publicly buying MT, even if I'll suggest against it, there's a risk of getting banned, is going to make people that were watching me, is going to make at least one person say, oh, he does it, so I'll do it as well. So I created a whole joke around it that it was Schrodinger's account, that I wouldn't turn on my Xbox. So until I turned on my Xbox, I was both banned and unbanned, as just a joke on why I didn't go onto my account. But let's be real, like there was a reason I didn't go onto my account. Yeah. So I log on. So this is on Xbox, by the way. So then I start up a brand new account on PlayStation on Tuesday, I think, or Monday when the bans all happen. And with that account, I get the spotlights completed. And I actually had a second account on PlayStation, which had like 3 cards on it, had like 1 hour total of MyTeam played, and like 800 MT and like 3 reward cards. So like I still had a starter squad. And I log on today to find out that on a Saturday, within 15 minutes of 2K's normal start work time, both my PlayStation accounts, which have one has only reward cards and like 30k MT, only like free cards that I grinded for since Monday, and 30k MT permanently popped. And my account that I don't even use for my team is permanently banned. I'm like, I broke the rules. I broke TOS on Xbox. I know I broke TOS on Xbox. And there's a reason why I didn't publicly say it, because I don't want anyone else breaking terms of service based on the fact that I did. Like I'm old enough. I'm old enough. I broke TOS. I'm gonna take the consequences. I took the risk. I got banned. It is what it is. That was my choice. But why did they permanently ban my other accounts? And then, to be fair, I still had my ban looks like it got updated on Xbox from 10-day to permanent as well. I don't know how that happened. I have since
wait. So
I personally don't think those bans will be permanent, DBG.
Yeah, but like I don't get the 10-day code on Xbox anymore.
That 10-day code didn't exist until 3 days ago. That's the normal banning thing that can be for any ban like.
No, but it was the 10-day code earlier, and it's now after I said I'm only banned.
I bet you they probably upgraded it to the 30-day for ban evasion. That's probably what I would. That's what I would assume. I mean, there's no way of us telling.
In the DOS.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has to be. Yeah.
It is 100%.
I mean, it's pretty stupid that they're like coming after you for ban evasion when they could probably find 20 other creators who are also ban evading right now on YouTube.
Every banned creator is ban
you're
evading.
DBG, so it's like I was gonna say, I gave up on that. It took me about 5 spotlight challenges to say this ain't worth my time. It's like God, I'm mad at.
I need to find this.
That's probably what it is.
It's not in. I don't think ban evading is.
It is. I saw it earlier. 100%. It is. You can take my word for it.
It has to
be. Yeah. No, I saw it earlier. The 2 things in there that it could be are using someone else's account is against the rules. So they phrase it in a way, transferring an account to something else.
That's very much up for debate. That's a gray area. Yeah, because is that transferring an account for a day for a borrow, or is it transferring for ownership? Transferring or ownership versus transferring for a borrow for an hour for a game.
I'm not really sure. If they're saying transferring for a borrow is against TOS, then that literally means by letter of the law, if you go to your friend's house and log onto your account and let them physically take control of your band, obviously they're going to use it. It's going to be one of those things that they have never, the ban evasion that they've never implemented, I don't think, in the history of 2K other than me, or the sharing account situation where they might be trying to make an example out of me. But at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, they're not going to break me.
Yeah,
they're making an example out of me. They can break DBG, they can't break Mick Curley.
Yeah,
I have a question.
What?
Like, for everyone, this was all so sudden, right? Like, why did they choose this week of all weeks to just start just laying it down.
It's
been a long time coming.
It's coming, and they want to scare everyone straight.
There's a lot of factors also, and I want to ask everybody what you feel about this. But whenever you see a Hamidou Diallo go for millions, that's a problem, and that's a red flag for anybody to see. You know what I'm saying? You got people tweeting out like, "What is this?" You know. So that's a reason. Also, whenever they put out the TOS tweet, which didn't help nobody at all. You had people adding devs, which was wrong. Adding Ronnie, adding Mike, adding 2K. You know, adding everybody and basically snitching on them. And they were poking the bear, Josh. They were literally poking the bear. And I think that had a major effect.
With the best threat ever.
The ultimate self.
Lethal, come back.
Yeah,
just fought MT. I feel like an hour later, F you 2K.
I mean, I think there's multiple factors too. Like it's like a tip of the iceberg thing with Yao going for 2 mil, clearly getting bidded to the same rates with some funky stuff going on with Yao. The leaderboards being trashed with a bunch of bot accounts. I mean, I think it's just a tip of the iceberg moment, really.
Right. Jacob, what you just said there. Let me touch on what you just said there quickly, because I've had everyone in this call. I had this conversation with 2 months ago, right? Everyone,
correct.
All 5 of you, I've had this exact conversation with. Which is, this is the first year.
Is that a whale?
That is stomach.
Who is that?
What was that?
That's the sign. I live on a
road. Yeah.
I live on a parkway, so it's like always cars.
I thought you just said Jazz. I just thought you said that was my stomach. I was like, dude, end the podcast. I thought it was yours, like owning up to that. I was like, dude, you're going to the hospital, buddy.
I'm good. Yeah. So basically, a couple of months ago, I had this conversation because something changed this year, right? One specific thing changed on the second day of this game dropping. So, you guys all came on the podcast before, right? And one of the things that we spoke about a lot is having some sort of separation for comp and casual. And I remember when the season first dropped, Jacob, you came on, I think, the first or second podcast, and you spoke like really kind of excitedly about these logos and things like that for the top 10 and all of this stuff. So 2K built something to facilitate that, right? Which was the leaderboards. And the leaderboards were the first time there was a direct in-game visual consequence of MT buying. So you could say cards are expensive, whatever. We've seen hints at it before, but it's never been definitive, right?
I would say MT farming, because MT buying has been a thing long before MT farming was a thing.
Yes, yeah. So yeah,
like there's a difference between a person who has a 500,000 MT and says I want to sell this, which is the reason why MT used to be $40 per 100K and it's now $4.
Yeah, I mean it shows both, right? You don't have buyers without sellers without buyers, right? So it's the first time visually the game was just impacted. So I think from the second day of this game, I've seen this coming. And I've told, like I said, every single person in this call I've had a call with outside of the podcast and said a couple of months ago, I guarantee you this is coming, because we've had it in previous years, but it's been hidden. And I think the leaderboards were the first time I think they took it personally, that they'd spent time building this kind of element of the game. And within half an hour, it was just trashed.
They just a heads up, they had leaderboards in 2K18, and within a day, the leaderboards were taken over by boosters. Yeah. Like, not maybe to this extent, but like the last time they brought in leaderboards, the exact same thing happened. So I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say 2K shouldn't have prepared for this, because the last time they had leaderboards, this happened. It's the reason why they took them out in 2K19, because this exact thing happened 5 years ago. Yeah,
that's when they did Supermax.
Yeah, they found a way of getting rid of it, but the first season of Supermax was just boosters.
I mean, there's a difference between boosters and obvious bot accounts, I think.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing real quick though, for just like the viewers out there, is if you're only going to watch a portion of this podcast, please don't walk away with conclusions. Don't watch this podcast this week for 15 minutes and then go on Twitter and say, "Oh, DBG said this, Jacob said this." Like, please pay attention to the whole thing, because like, I just kind of thought I just admitted to how much MT I've been buying, but like, wait until we get to the point where we talk about the changes that were made and stuff before you consider just like me like not taking this seriously. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say this right now. Like, the vast majority of content creators who are banned because they needed content. They needed to break toss in order to get the cards for content, because gambling just wasn't an efficient way. If 2K continue with the change that they made right now, that's going to die. That's going to end. And I'll say this, I'll put my hand up right now. Even if it wasn't being banned, it's like I would be not breaking TOS because of the current system for gameplays.
Well,
assuming they let me play the game again. That is.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Like, if I don't want to say it's gonna be like done completely.
No.
I don't think the game's gonna die completely. Because honestly,
no, it won't.
It'll never die completely.
Hear me out before, please hear me out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, like, I don't know how this is gonna go in the future. I can't speak on that. Right now, at this very moment, from what I'm seeing, I see some positives from it, and like how I feel like they can adapt and make it in a way where it can flourish later down the line. Not the same exact way, but I feel like if they take like what's happened from this last week of the bans and everything going on with the auction house, if they take the positives from it and then add it later down the line, or like, you know, make some tweaks to it, like they've been doing all year. Like, they take something, they'll change something, they're like, okay, let's see, this works, this doesn't, and they'll tweak it in a way where it's like they're trying to improve it. I feel like we can have a better game down the line. I don't want to say like 100% 2K is done and like it's just shut down, but like if they keep this very system, I kind of agree with you, but I'm hopeful that they will make the necessary adjustments to where it works out for the community and for the game in the long run.
I mean, yeah, that's like a strong conclusion, I think, for today. That's not far off where I'll get to as well. But you're right. Like, they need to run with this now. Like, if they're gonna do this, it can't just be this and nothing else. But I think they've already taken steps.
They need to understand. They need to understand the root cause of it in the first place, and that's kind of my concern, is that they don't understand the root cause. They might. They could very well. It's not like I've had any conversation or any contact with anyone. What do you think is the root
cause of it, though?
The root cause of it is, without a doubt, like there's been yes, to a certain extent, but I mean, there's been MT purchasing for years. I mean, it started in like 2K15 for the most part, right?
Just to clarify, you talk about the root cause of people buying MT or the bans?
The root cause of buying MT, but then obviously that leads into the bans, right? The root cause of it really has been the aggressive push towards monetization since 2K20. It's them chasing the dragon of the microtransaction booms of COVID.
Yeah,
that's basically what it's been. They've been unable to recreate the numbers they were doing at that time because obviously everybody was inside. And then specifically for America, and I don't know how it is outside anywhere else, but Americans were being provided with additional universal basic income that they didn't have before. So people were spending that on a lot of microtransactions, being inside and stuff like that. So they've been trying to like push towards getting back to that summit that they were at when it's not feasible for them to do that. And that in turn has pushed everyone into these illicit marketplaces because it's just too expensive in order to go about it in the traditional way that doesn't break TOS. So we get to a point this year where they have so many people buying MT. MT buying is out of control on the auction house, where if you're trying to play this game legitimate, it's near impossible. And they have to do something at that point, and that's where we get the ban wave. This is what they're going to do. Now, like I said, is it a little authoritarian the way they did it? Yes. Could they have given some warning? Yes. But we'll see if it gets even more authoritarian if they decide to wipe MT from accounts that were banned. We'll see if they do that.
I don't think it's too like, I don't think they should have given warning, because I feel like everyone who did it knew the risk.
Not everyone. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, if you look at videos,
if you look,
I wouldn't even. I honestly wouldn't say for the most part.
Josh. Josh. No, I'm cutting over you right now because there's so many creators that promote MT as safe and reliable. I'm not. I'm talking over you right now. There's so many. You know better. I know better. Everyone in this chat knows better. So many innocent people listen to creators.
Can I finish my thought, please?
Yes.
Finish my thought. All I'm saying is the reason I don't expect a warning is because, as we said in the past, we know better. We know better. Everyone.
You're saying we. That's the problem. Is it's not we? Yes, we know better. We don't deserve a warning. But the amount of people that didn't know better, that's what Luz is trying to say.
Why would they think? But no,
because it says on these websites it's that people are promoting as safe and reliable. That it's safe.
Know better. This is a question anyone
because these websites. Why would you think the content creator is saying you can't get banned is lying?
My jumps is children. What about kids?
What about kids? What about these guys? We know better. People don't know better. Listen, we know better. People don't.
Let Josh speak.
Please. I'm not mad at the fact that y'all one-on-one. I'm not mad at that. I'm talking about for the simple fact that, like, if you're gonna go make a in-game transaction, like when you buy VC, you buy it on the game app. Cool. Why would you be scared about that? What could go wrong? Right. Now you're going to an outside website to get in-game currency. I feel like you would be a little suspicious about that, and know there's some type of risk. That's why I'm like, the whole, and like you guys said, it's been going on for years. And I just feel like it got to a point where everyone got so comfortable who was doing it, not every single body, everyone who was doing got so comfortable to like nothing happened. I'm just gonna keep getting away with it. That like the ban happening, it's like it caught them off guard. And I get it. It would catch me off guard too. But I feel like you shouldn't be that surprised. It's like, okay, you know what? Cool.
Well,
this is bound to happen.
You could argue the 10-day ban is the warning, right? Like that, you could argue that too. You could say the 10-day ban is the warning shot. Yeah, 10-day ain't that long, bro. It's really not. Okay. I mean, that's.
Let me add it. Let me add a couple of things to what Josh said. Right. So first of all, there was no scenario ever where there was going to be a warning. Never. If it was like
they've done it in the past.
But bear with me. Let me finish.
They have done it in the past. You say no scenario ever. They have done it in the past.
I don't
so you
care.
Can't say never.
The past isn't now. Right now, they would never do it. There was no scenario where that was going to happen because if they said, right, we're going to give you a warning and then we're going to put a 10-day ban and then we're going to put a 30-day ban, everyone would have gone and bought 15 million MT on that day and then taken the 10-day ban. So that's common sense. We got to be there. Yes, it would have been way better if there was a warning, like your account has been flagged, you've been buying MT and you'll get a 10-day ban. But there is a huge chunk of people that immediately would have gone, cool, I cut my losses then, I'll take 10 days off, buy all my MT once, no consequences after that. So that's not.
I might have even did that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be honest.
You're right, Jazz. You're right. That probably would have.
If they had come out and laid out a little roadmap, been like, here, this is what's going on, I might have just been like, you know what, dude, I think I need a little vacation. I'll take the 10 days so I can have currency for pack openings for the remainder of the game's lifespan for like $100.
Yeah, there is so there's another point. First of all, I just want to touch on what Jacob said earlier. Absolutely, keep an open mind and watch this all the way through. Also, like and subscribe. I am a YouTuber. I remember that sometimes. Oh. Right, let's talk about the proportion of this, okay? Because this is the most confused thing on Twitter right now, is the size of these bans. I've heard 75% of the player base, 90% of the player base. I have heard just completely out of touch realities of what this situation is. Now, let me give you from my perspective, then I'll let you guys run with it, okay? I have played thousands of games online this year. Thousands, right? When you add up clutch time, limited, TTO, unlimited, etc. I have played 4 people that I recognize from the community. And out of those 4 people, one of them has been banned, right? So even from that perspective, just from my personal perspective, out of thousands of people that I've played, or thousands of games that I've played, it probably is thousands of people because I have matched up with people multiple times, but I've played well over 1,000 games. One person has been banned. Now, from the community, that's a different conversation. The community is tiny, guys. It's tiny. So in terms of consequences for 2K of doing this, why would they put up a warning, all of that stuff? They don't want the people who got banned for 10 days playing this game anymore. There isn't enough of a financial consequence there for them. So that is why they've approached this in the way that they've approached it. This is bordering on military tactics, right? Shock and awe, out of nowhere, you're just done, now go cry about it. That's what they want. They want people to cry about it. They want people to create awareness. Every time you tweet that I got banned, this is unfair, all you're really doing is tweeting out for someone else to see that you got banned. That becomes an advert for this. That's also an upside for 2K. So their tactic here isn't right. We want to do this in a way that is really subtle and provides a subtle warning or, a hint at, this might be wrong in the future. No. The people that bought MT on this game, they see as a direct financial and reputational cost for the business. So they don't want you playing the game. So it was never going to be soft. That's the reality of the situation. Right. Who's got an opinion on that?
I wanted to say, so you see how you said from your perspective, you've seen who's been banned. What I'm noticing is a lot of competitive dudes. I'm not saying no names. I did see a lot of competitive dudes. Now, in their case, I kind of feel for them, only for the simple fact, if I'm about to compete for $250,000, I do want the best of the best players. Mm-hmm. And sometimes ripping packs of VC isn't always the best. I'm going to have to put a lot of money into the game to really get the best of the best. So that is the only sense in where I would feel bad. If you're not competitive, I'm not saying don't get the cards you don't want, but that's where 2K also plays a role, which I like what they did this weekend with the whole the way the opening boxes went. For me personally, I feel like the pack odds was really good, even though there were some unauctionable cards. I feel like it went really good. That's just my personal opinion. but I did notice a lot of like competitive dudes, get like receive a lot of.
The 250K competitive thing is a whole other conversation. Like,
but you can't play this game competitively without buying illicit currency. It's not a thing that is possible
it's the only
at this
scenario
stage.
where that margin makes sense. Yeah, go on, Mojo.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to say this. I don't want to be as clear as possible. So going back to the TOS tweet, the shock and all, I understand why 2K get it. Me personally, I respect it and I understand it. However, I still feel that was 10 days is excessive, no matter who feels or what on this panel or anywhere else. I feel like a warning should have been merited because of this. Number one, I don't think that's conducive to the community. I'm criticizing. I don't mean to be critical, but I am going to be critical with 2K because there's people out here, creators, especially smaller creators, that depended on this spotlight, Sims, okay? And now a lot of them are banned and they won't be able to eat. They won't be able to provide content to their people. And I feel for those smaller creators because right now, when I look throughout the week, you know what I'm saying, there was not too many people streaming it. No, not at all. And that's just my feel. Although 2K is in the right to do what they did, I feel that their approach was a little harsh. The shock and all, it makes sense. Yeah. I get it. And that all, and I respect that 2K. But there were people truly dependent all year long to do those spotlights, and for you to basically strip so many, and it may not have been many as it said, a lot of people are trying to clarify on Twitter. It might not be that many, but there was a lot of people, a lot of the active player base that was really hurt by this. It was detrimental. A warning could have been had. It should have been had, in my opinion. Yeah. And then if they was to do something excessive, like buy crazy MT or whatever the case may be, then I wouldn't say, I don't think they could do it case by case, but ban them then. You know what I'm saying? And then impose the harsh bans. However, 10 days is, 3 days would have been enough. A day would have been enough. I mean, you can all have your opinions on it. But all I'm saying is this: a warning could have been just fine, especially with the content that was dropping. If you're in the comment section right now, and if you are a content creator, I know whether even if you're not a content creator, whether you're just a regular Joe schmo like myself, I know that you probably was hurt when you just saw your account gone. Yeah. Gone, just in a blink, And
I think
2K,
that's why they dropped the content.
Yeah. 2K, and to basically poke and say, hey, this is what you missed. This is what you missed. And 2K, you know what? You were within your rights to do so. I want to be clear on that, okay? As much as I can criticize 2K, I also have to applaud them because they came right back around and they did something this week with the unauctionable cards, leading to what Josh is saying. I'm not going to get too in depth with it because I want to talk about it later, but I will say this: there are so many good things surrounding that too. They are hearing. I want to be clear: 2K is hearing. They hear the community, period.
I agree with you, man. You definitely made a lot of good points, man. I'm not mad at what you said. And like, if they were to do a warning, I feel like you said, maybe a 3-day ban, like a warning, and then like, okay, understand the seriousness of the situation. And like you said, I get why they made it 10 days. Like, okay, you want to break rules? Cool. Now you're gonna miss out this week.
You're gonna miss out. They mean business.
And I noticed the automatic change in like the auction house prices. Like Ben Simmons last week probably would have been $2 million. Today. He's going for like 400, 350K. I'm like, wow. Like I feel like those prices reminded me of being on like 2K21 again. Like seeing the price of that Opal. So I just thought it was really
This is totally out of the blue, but like I hate they dropped that Ben Simmons card, man. I don't even know if we're gonna get to actually talking about the cards this week.
we will.
It makes me so mad that card even exists, dude. Like I've watched a few Nets games in the past couple weeks. Give that man a ruby, dude. Like
he's too bad. He's so bad. I'm tired of people defending. He's so bad. But yeah, like let's get back. Stay on topic too. Like I could go all day about why.
I want to say this as strong as possible. 2K. If you don't think 2K does not hear you, everybody in the comment section, trust me, you should know now more than ever. They hear.
No, they don't.
Okay, tell me why, Ludes. They don't
because we don't have a Greg Ostertag yet.
What about how you
we still have the gold Ostertag. What do you mean?
I know it.
What do you mean?
My God.
That Ostertag is overdue. That
it is overdue.
Okay,
well, that's what I'm talking about.
What are you going to give him? Joel Embiid dribble stat? Like what can you even put on him, man?
It's
He already got
irrelevant.
the flat top, bro. He don't need no cigs.
The
He
bus
doesn't need cigs, dude.
Lose, if you don't get a new Ostertag before, like if RJ Barrett gets a new card before you get an Ostertag, then I will say there's an intern.
At this point, dude, it doesn't look like either of them are getting a card.
Does RJ not have a card this year?
Hold up,
Remember he
Quickly
gets
got a
smooth little
card.
diamond?
Quentin Grimes got a card, so I think it's just you. Mitch
2K,
Robinson got
please, for the love of God, drop
Drop
that part
the
so he
card.
stops talking about it. Please.
Yeah, dude, this is the
Please
goal,
drop the
man.
card.
This is what we do. This is what DBG. Granted, it's just his chair right now. This is what
God.
DBG did with what's his name, Dean Wade. See, I'm gonna do the same thing. Aggressive guerrilla marketing, dude. Until I get Greg Ostertag in the mix. You know, fun fact. Don't say that. Don't say that to me. Don't say that. You hope he's a sapphire. Why would you do that?
Next set job. Yeah, make him
A sapphire.
Knowing
wouldn't
my
count.
luck.
It's got to be like an actual high tier Ostertag, like pink
Like an
diamond or
amethyst.
higher. Because if it's anything lower than it, like almost looks natural. If they give him
Yeah.
like a pink diamond or something, we're like, yeah, that's the Lude's card right there.
Have we ever gotten an OP Ostertag?
No.
Jacob?
Never,
No.
never,
Why
never
would-
been like.
Why
never been,
Why
like,
would
higher
we?
than a-
Truly, that's a good question.
Why would
Like,
we?
seriously.
The big question is, as soon as you get the Ostertag, who are you going to switch to? Because I know you're just going to light it up again.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I got people in the bag 100%. But you know,
Fantasy
You got
football.
Josh Childress.
him or Sebastian Telfair, probably. Those are the homies from back in the day.
I wouldn't be mad at a Telfair card. I would not be mad.
Look, here's
He
my
was a
thing
hooper.
though, right? If you want to be conspiratorial, right? If I was a really conspiratorial person, I would say if 2K ever wanted to like lure me into the dark side of buying illicit currencies, they would drop a Greg Ostertag that was like Yao Ming in scale.
I hate that card.
So you just gave
Like-
him a reason not to do it. Well done.
No.
If you
I would
drop
never-
that card down, Ludes is going to break
Hey,
the
I would
definitely not gonna
never-
do nothing.
Write it down.
I would never actually break TOS, like I said, because I live in cowardice and I would be afraid of being banned because I have the worst luck imaginable. Have you watched a pack opening video of
Time
mine?
out. No, you pulled a Pippin, right?
I pulled an unauctionable Pippin. That
That's
does
still a
not
He's
count.
a good
That's
card.
still a
Keep him.
Pippin.
You need a better team. You say it all the time. Keep him. You need
Pippin.
him.
I
Pippin
can't
does look
get rid of
really
him.
Aren't you a Bulls fan?
He's unauctionable. How am I getting rid of him? I can't.
Aren't you a Bulls fan?
Oh, I would have kept one of them.
You better
Trust.
use him.
He's on my
He
starting
got two
lineup. One of them was
unauctionable Pippins for it.
in a
Oh.
row.
Pippin looks really good. That's the one
Jacob,
card
he's
from this
amazing.
drop. Once I get on banned, like I got to go back for sure and get him because I think he definitely looks like the best shooting guard in the game.
I pulled an unauctionable one and he's no, I
Besides
pulled an
Seti
unauctionable
Osman,
one and
yeah.
he's cracked.
Seti's really good too. He's
Seti's
like
good.
he was the pink diamond I had because I was a part of the third band wave, which was we can talk about that too. How they did 1 day, 2 day,
Yeah.
3 day. I was a
Mhm.
part of the
W
third
transition.
band wave, so it made no sense how that kind of played out for me personally because for full transparency, the day before the band started, I bought 1 million, and the day before that, I bought 1 million. So I thought I'd be at the top of the chopping block, right? So the first day goes by, people are getting banned. I'm not banned. I'm like, weird. Second day goes by, another ban wave, and I'm still clear. I'm like, this makes no sense. I literally bought 2 mil this week. Third day comes along, finally, I see another ban wave hit. I load up. Well, I was actually had my console on. I backed out of the challenge game, and like the menus were glitching out, and then I backed out of the game, and I was banned. So I thought that was kind of weird, but I'm sure
I
there was
don't
some
think
sort
that
of
was
like.
the smartest thing, by the way. I'm just gonna like what
Doesn't
you
that
just
seem
said.
like doesn't that seem like something that they like probably like had to do like on their end almost like
Yeah.
a technical glitch, like they wouldn't be able to wipe that many accounts in a
So,
day
so what
because
they
of
would
like
have
bandwidth.
done, it would have been tightening the algorithm, right? They would have run a kind of wider algorithm on the first day, a tighter algorithm on the second day, and so on. And then different people would have
Yeah,
into
right,
those
right, right.
algorithms. But I think that made the whole situation worse because the actual prevailing opinion, there's a couple of people on either side. And I genuinely mean a couple of people on either side that are ranting, right? Or smug, either side of that. The vast majority of people there's just acceptance. People like all of you guys have had that attitude. Like it is what it is.
Right.
Broke TOS
Mhm.
on me. And that's been the acceptance. And I think the fact that the bans happened in like waves over 3 days just made it worse. If they'd done it all at once or in the space of a day, it would have been fine. But you kind of got the ban wave, then acceptance, and then another ban wave, then acceptance. Then you got another ban wave, then acceptance. And now DBG's been, I don't know, IP banned or whatever. So now we've got another wave. It's like it won't die down. I think if it happened once, and that had been 4 days ago, 5 days ago, whatever, I think we'd be in a very different place now. But I think the continuous creep of these bans has created like almost a paranoia. Do you know what I mean? Like if you weren't banned, you're still on edge. which is the most unhealthy way to do this, because now you've got people who legitimately didn't break TOS feeling uncomfortable, and they're reading stories. Oh, I never bought MT, but I got banned. So now that paranoia is just ramping up over 3 days, and every time it dies down, it's like, well, is there going to be a new ban wave tomorrow? Are they going to get caught up in it? So I think that's the most unhealthy way to do it. But I want to do some myth busting real quick. You guys know the podcast is a source of information, so I'm going to provide some information. It's kind of my goal for this whole podcast, really, is to put everything in scale, right? Because the scale is where the nonsense starts, when people put things out of proportion. Like I said, 90% of the player base has been banned. Probably 0.1% of the player base has been banned. But let's talk about the wider things.
Absolute maximum 25%.
I don't think it's anywhere close to either of those numbers personally, and let me tell you why. For one, player base is a really weird term, because it definitely wouldn't be the way that 2K sees it or anybody else, but in my head, the way that I see the player base being is like, if someone logs onto the game, plays 5 games of triple threat offline, and then doesn't play for another 2 months, that player technically counts as a MyTeam player by all statistics. But in my head, that's not a MyTeam player. That's a MyTeam visitor. They aren't a part of anything. They're just a guy who happened to stumble across the game mode. So like what they do on the game,
like
they weren't going to stay regardless. Yeah, it's like a tourist. Like, it's exactly. They're not a part of the population. They're a part of the tourist crowd that comes in for the summer, right? Or whatever it might be. So like, I don't think it probably is like 0.01% of accounts that own MyTeam. Yeah. But when you pull it on Twitter, which I've seen myself do it, HTB do it, it normally lands in that 30 to 40 range, which makes me think that it's probably somewhere about half of that from people who actually actively play the game. That's just like my kind of thing. Because
I think it's really high.
From people who play the game regularly, I think it's probably somewhere around like 20%. Because there's noticeable differences in the auction house, right? Like there's a big impact. Like if it was like actually 1% of like the real player base that actually play the game regularly, the auction house wouldn't have died down so much like it did.
Have you seen how many Ben Simmons are on the auction house?
I can tell you right now.
That changed though after the pack drop. The day before Friday, you guys know Jacob, the auction house was
the cards people were using to make that point. I'm sorry, listen. If you've got Yao Ming, there is a 99% chance you bought MT. This card was first of all price fixed by MT sites. And then they charged you to buy them, right? That's basically how MT sites operate. How on earth do you buy Yao Ming legitimately? Which is a problem on both sides, right? But the vast majority of Yao Mings were owned by MT buyers. And like I said, the main reason for that is MT sites they fix that price. They're the ones that go, right, Yao isn't going to sell less than 2.5 mil because we're going to bid that on every card. So you've got to bid above that to get the card. And now we're going to sell you 2.5 million MT for the privilege of paying the price that we set. The likelihood of anyone that isn't in our community, in a rationalized community of owning and buying MT, owning a Yao Ming is almost non-existent. So that's what explains why Yao Mings disappeared in the marketplace.
But it wasn't just Yao though. It was just people using that card for a point. When I was the second day after, when I was the third day, last ban wave for me, I was looking through cards that like like Wesley Person, right? Wesley Person was one. So this happens a lot with good amethysts. Like you can do the investment method. A good amethyst is in packs. It's going to be 1,000 after. Friday. So yeah, like the amount. Trust me, I've played this game so much that I've got a pretty good feel on the auction house and stuff, even though it's not like my forte. The amount of Wesley Persons that were there the day after he left packs was abnormally low. Some of the flash forward cards were going nearly extinct. CheapLudez is saying that he's seeing a noticeable difference when he goes online against the squads he plays. I think that it's somewhere around 10% of people who play the game more than twice a week. And then I think that those 10% are probably those 10% are probably the most vocal, active members of the community who play the most, right? So like those are the guys who are on the game the longest. They're the ones who are tweeting about it. They're the ones who are creating like everything, right? And I think that a player like that just has more impact because they're posting more cards, they're buying more cards, they're playing more games. So like that player has a lot more bigger of an impact than one of these tourists we're talking about, right? So like, yeah, it's probably a low number of actual people who own the game who are banned, but it's a higher number of people who play the game regularly, and even a way higher number of people who have the biggest impact on the things like the auction house, on Twitter, on any sort of community widespread thing, right? So I think it kind of scales up. So like,
I agree with everything you just said. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
I mean,
from
just on the
community
content
perspective, it's much wider. Yeah.
On the content creation side, what is there, like 3 content creators that didn't get banned this week?
Yeah. Yeah, they're all on this call.
2.
Look at the comp side, dude. Is there a 250K qualifier that can even practice this week? Like,
No.
I don't think there's a single qualifier who survived.
No, but I mean, realistically,
Talking
like
about that made me think about how's 250 about to look, because it's like when they come back from their ban, are they gonna even like what do they do with their teams? Like
they've got a whole week and these packs seem really souped. If they bring that back, it's no problem. And I'm actually excited to talk about the new packs because everybody who's going to try and qualify is just going to rip a couple 450s until they pull all the cards, whether they be unauctionable or not. The biggest difference is people won't have the MT to buy their 45 Hoth badge versions of their cards, which I've always thought is the most overrated thing in the world anyways, but that's just me.
Well, having like the badge out card.
Yeah, like I think there's going to be less people like buying those for qualifiers and more people just buying packs because like the pull rates are going to be high enough. Like hypothetically, if qualifiers were this weekend and then everyone was unbanned this weekend too, like anyone who is serious about qualifying would just buy packs until they pulled Ben Simmons, and it would probably take them like $50 to $100, and they also would have spent that on MT anyways. So
yeah, I should probably
and it's a whole week. It's a whole week too.
DBG is not here. He's just messaged me. He had to take care of something. He'll be back. But if anyone's wondering why he hasn't spoken for a while, that's why. I just want to bring it back round to the kind of myth busting stuff as well in terms of the community.
Oh yeah, sorry about that, Jazz.
No, that's fine. In terms of the community's kind of value that we put on ourselves in terms of our self-importance and our relevance to 2K as a whole. Everything Jacob said is true. Like from a community perspective, we have influence. We are influencers. Of course, we have influence. That's a no-brainer. And yeah, we probably do have a. Yeah, it probably is debatable. We have more influence on in-game mechanics as well, like the auction house, because people are flipping cards. I get all of that. But then again, there's misconceptions, right? So people are saying, oh, you know, the whales in our community are not on, so 2K are losing money. I mean, there is no downside for them. Let's just be clear. Let's just be absolutely clear. This isn't speculation. This is from the horse's mouth. The thing that makes 2K more money than anything right now is super packs. And let me explain why. The more knowledgeable you get on this game, the smarter you are, right? And if you look at our community, there's a huge chunk of our community there's no money spent. There's a huge chunk of our community that buys MT. And then there's a tiny chunk of our community that spends VC regularly. And the reason that is our community understands VC. We understand the odds of it. We understand the impact of it. We understand there's better access to other things. And also we have the normalization of MT in our community. So, you know, we're more likely to do it because we can see other people doing it. You know, someone's been doing it for years. They haven't had a problem. So that's fine. Now let's talk about the new casual players, right? First of all, they're not going to buy MT because they're going to be too scared to, because they're not in a community that has normalized it. They are going to look at an illicit website, and we're going to talk about them because they are illicit, whether you like it or not. They're going to look at an illicit website and go, I'm not sure if I want to put my bank details in this. That's even if they find out it's an option in the first place. So
yeah, that was me.
What new players
It's
do?
me.
What new players do, believe it or not, is open VC packs, and the packs they're going to open are super packs. You know why? Because they don't know Yao Ming's the best player in the game. They don't know that Ben Simmons is the best player in the game. Right now, there's super packs with MJ and Kobe in them. Which of those two packs do you think they're going to be more likely to open? 2K make, Kobe. Yeah, 2K make the vast majority of their money from new and casual players. They're not grinding the game to get good cards. They don't know what a good card is. They don't have access to MT sites. They fall into the FOMO and clickbait traps that 2K set without any resistance. And that's where 2K make their money. So again, when we say, oh, the whales have been banned, this is going to be costing 2K a fortune, I hate to break it to you. No, it's not.
It's not.
In the long run, if 5% of us stop buying MT and start buying VC, 2K make more money than they did next week. So it works.
Well, that's one thing too, is everybody wants to act like they are in the know or have look, dude, it's $1 billion company with all the data. We're just making guesses on all these numbers, right? Everybody wants to say, oh, this is going to have this impact and all this, as if this multinational company didn't sit down with multiple people with analytics in front of them to make this decision. I'm sorry, there are incompetent companies out there, so I'll never say never, but a company that size will likely put a lot of analytics and a lot of really high up decision makers into this little ban wave, you know? Like they thought about it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That makes a lot of sense because, you know, and I never really thought about that, Jazz. That's why we have 3-4 super PACs right now, because they're not looking for the best players. They're looking for the biggest names like LeBron, like a Kobe, like MJ. Thank you for that. That makes. I
have to reverse engineer this stuff, right? Because I'll hear them saying, super PACs work. And then I'll go to my community and everyone will go, why the hell have we got super PACs on a Tuesday? So then I have to spend some time trying to reconcile those two things. And the conclusion you come to is super PACs aren't aimed at us. They're aimed at the people they're aimed at, who are the people that proportionally spend more money on this game because they don't know not to. They don't know the alternatives. They don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything's done for a reason. Because something's not built for us doesn't mean it doesn't make sense, right? And I know there's going to be people saying right now that, you know, their profits have been going down, all of that stuff. That's all true. But I think this is the first step that they're really taking in a serious way to address a large part of that issue. So we have to see where it goes from here. Right, guys.
They're going to continue to do the bans. I think that needs to be kind of talked about as well.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
A lot of people have speculated they'll stop like they normally do, but that's not the case. I mean, if anything, we've seen over multiple days of them continuously banning people. They're only going to keep doing this. So if you get off your 10-day and you do it again, it's extremely likely you're going to get hit with a 30-day, and they're probably just going to smarten up, but still it does need to be said.
Yeah. I mean, go on.
As consistent as they're going to be doing these bans, they need to have the same energy on not only these odds but also the promos and all the rest of the content. I will say that I'm big right now on this concept that that when 2K did the bans, I felt like they kind of left a lot of people in the dust, and that's just my feel. I felt like they should have created an action plan, which I feel they did, considering these odds and considering everything, which is a massive, in my opinion, a massive dub by 2K, because basically they're saying, you know what, let's go ahead and change the odds. The odds for a Galaxy Open, I don't mean to get on odds, I'm going to hit on that later, but less than 2% to 10%, 2K went over and beyond what we even asked for. I'm going to tell you right now, what more do you want from them? Like, that is amazing right there. We were pleading, at least I was, the pack connoisseur over here was pleading, preaching, and basically crying for changes within the packs and the promos, and they exceeded that. That's a lot. That is amazing. You know, and I just want to say that. Go ahead, man.
I agree with you, man. Like, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I am a pack addict. Like, whatever currency.
Are you?
He had 6 MT. What do you think?
I rip. Like, I rip in hopes. Like, I will make, like, let's say I make like 15K. I'm not thinking about who can I get. I'm thinking about, I'm about to open this pack.
Bro, last week we literally had a call and we were like planning out his new squad. He sold Paul George and Kobe. He's like, I'm going to get 200K. And I was like, right, cool. We can put together a competent squad. Checked in with him 2 days later. As the card sold, I ripped it all in packs, pulled nothing. Good.
You could have got Marc Gasol for like 15K. What are you doing?
I pulled Marc Gasol.
That's not a flex. That's not the flex you think it is.
No. But I pulled him. I pulled him, and I got the opal that I wanted. I got Scottie Pippen.
You got Scottie. Big pool, by the way.
That's a
big
card that is value
Scottie
of 200K. Yeah, that's a 200K card.
Of course, we got a Scottie Pippen after we do the tournament. He can't even run on my crime squad, dude. So ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's been officially charged with, but I know he did something on that little book tour run that he did there.
Let's just, yeah, okay, let's move on.
I'll say one thing about
it's a very American crime. I can say that. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I can already know then.
Yeah, you're not going to see that crime in. You're not going to see that crime in England. Let's put it that way.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Luz, and I'm American, so.
You know what it is. At the end of the day, it goes pew pew.
Yeah, I got you.
He is
one thing
Chicago, so.
I wanted to say on top of that though, with the whole ban wave, right? Like, I was thinking in my head before the increased pack odds came out, I was like, all right, they banned us, cool. they're going to do a disservice to themselves if they don't look in the mirror and ask why this third-party site is able to cause such a huge impact on the community. I was saying in my head, I was like, if they don't think about why all of the community is trying to do this, knowing that it's a risk, what you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you want to tap into that market. You don't just want to get the people who do it off of the game. You want to convert them over into spending that money with you, right? That's what I think from a business perspective. Right. So 100%. When they dropped these new pack odds, like, it was so poorly, not so poorly received. It was like 50-50 right off rip, right on Twitter. Because people didn't really understand what it was. People saw people selling quick selling opals. Like, I'm sorry, Luz, that happened to you, especially
who wouldn't have who would have not understood?
Right.
Who could have not understood that? It wouldn't be anyone here.
The only reason why I was able to look at it kind of objectively is because I was banned, so I couldn't touch them anyways, right? So like anyone who just hopped straight into it, I didn't even get to look at Twitter until after they added the exchange. So I kind of like checked in on all of it. But what I'll say is, you could still argue that packs the way they are at 10% opal odds are predatory, but what they were before were extremely predatory, because if you put $100 in, you still didn't even have a solid chance at pulling the card you wanted. Now, if you put $100 in, I don't know, I'm not good with math and stuff, but I think on average should pull every card in the set, whether that be unauctionable or not.
Well, it's 1 in 10, right? Yeah,
it's 1 in 10.
So $100 will get you 40 packs. If you pull 40 packs on average, you should pull 4 opals. If you pull 4 opals on average, right, it should hypothetically be somewhere around.
I mean,
like
some people spend 300,000 MT and pulled every card in the set.
And you could still argue that those cards are pay to win and that's predatory, but the way that it was before was specifically designed for people that are willing to put in $1,000 and become frustrated and spend another $1,000 because the card they want just simply won't come out of the pack. But in order for this to even matter, like, I will praise 2K 100% if they keep this. I think it's great. But if they revert it, then it's all out the window. And if they also do the stealth shit they've done before in the past, where they make it so that Yao is 10 times less likely, or 50 times less likely to come out that pack than OpalJa, I hate that too. It looked like Ben Simmons had pretty darn good odds, or equal odds, to Scotty and Chet this week, and it needs to stay that way. Like, doesn't need to stay that way. Like, in my eyes, though, for them to be, a W, for it to be a W, it needs to stay the way that it was this week. Anything else or anything short of what it was this week, then I'll go back onto the other side of the fence where I've been forever, which is packs are garbage,
I don't
but
know.
If they're like this, if they stay like this, I'm done buying MT. I will spend my $50 every 2 weeks on the packs I want and have a pretty good chance of pulling the cards I want.
That's what I did, Jacob. I spent $50 and I got the opal that I wanted. I got 7 out of the 10 cards. I wasn't mad at it. Some was unauctionable, like the diamonds.
They unauctionable, but bro, if you put in $50 the week before, you weren't pulling nothing. That's why I never touched packs. I remember we'll touch a pack like if it's a huge drop, right? Like the first week of the game drops, I pulled limitless packs. Opal Kid comes out, I might rip a 450, right? But outside of that, it took like 1 or 2 times of me loading up a 450 for $100 and getting like nothing higher than a 20K card. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, if I'm putting money into this game for a virtual card, like, I damn sure better get something back in return. Like, it's not even good. It's not a good thing to be spending your money on objectively, right? Like, it's not good. It lasts for like a couple months tops. Like, it's objectively not, it's objectively not a smart thing to spend money on. So like, if you think that I'm going to spend money in hopes to get something that's not even a smart thing to buy outright, no. But the way it is now, it's actually low-key super sweet, because like, if you spend $50 or $75, and you can make the argument, oh well, they're unauctionable, so what do you do the next week? Dude, anyone who buys MT had to do the same thing before. You're living in a fantasy land if you think someone was buying MT, buying the card they wanted, selling it for the same value, and rinsing and repeating every week. No, every single person who bought MT had to re-up.
What I say during every market video I've ever done, I'm like, dude, you can find cards for cheap, because the people who buy MT, they don't care about MT. They'll put them up for nothing at 4 weeks after they're outdated.
Once they're out of the lineup,
they don't care
anymore. Yeah.
The one thing I will say is about this is they could have been a bit more transparent about the unauctionable odds, because I literally did not even realize they were unauctionable until pulling Scottie Pippen and noticing the little sticker and then getting furiously mad. Had that been communicated properly to me prior, which you could talk about my reading comprehension being, it says right on the packs right there at the bottom, but it's also like in tiny letters at the bottom. I don't read that. Okay. you know, it is what it is. If it had just been communicated prior, like the packs dropped and they put out a tweet immediately, hey, there is a bonus card in every pack. Boom. They always wait to put out the pack announcement for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. You know, it would have been a different situation. I feel like most people probably would have been mad. And now that I know it going into the next, packs that are dropping, I'm not going to be as mad. I'm not. But I was so mad.
So I felt so bad, Luz, because I just got out of a work call, kind of caught up on everything and went straight to your stream. And this was right after you had to discard it. I'm like, hey, Luz, like, these packs are looking pretty sweet, man. I think this is W. And then Luz is like,
you're telling me I have a chance.
He told you what happened. I could just tell he was so pissed. I'm like, I'll come back in a little bit.
It's because I haven't had good luck all year. And while I do think it's a positive step in the right direction for sure, raising the back odds in general, just a little bit more communication would be fine. Like us seasoned veterans of 2K, we're going to understand that they're going to continue to do this, for a long period of time. They're probably not going to stop doing this exact thing. This exact thing is probably how packs are going to be for the rest of the year. But other people don't really know that, nor do I think they really care, though, at the same time. So I'm torn in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a newbie who opens the Stellar packs because they see, like, Ben Simmons for the lulz or Scottie Pippen because their dad likes Scottie Pippen a lot really cares if they're unauctionable cards. You know what I mean?
Newbies are opening super packs anyway.
Yeah, and it's like, well, like they can't tell the difference. Like they don't care. You know what I mean? They're just gonna.
With Jordan in them. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, but realistically, as long as they keep it the way that it is right now, or increase it, preferably increase it. I mean, look, if we're being honest. 10% odds for the top tier card. That is the bare minimum for card collection standard. Every other game has been like that forever as far as packs. At least MLB The Show specifically. I can't speak for FIFA because I'm an American. So, I don't play soccer ball.
Soccer ball? I mean, wow. No. No, not just say soccer ball. Are you good?
Mojo, go on. Let me hear your thoughts on this.
First and foremost, Jacob, say something to everybody because that blue, whatever you got going on, is tight. First and foremost,
what is the bisexual lighting?
I got up and like my camera readjusted or something. I don't know
what happened. Hey, I need that lighting.
He looks like the chick who ate the blueberry in like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Willy Wonka. Yeah.
If I really want to get advanced, hold on. This is like the next level up right here. The little projector for the wall,
Look at that.
I put that up when I was streaming.
Oh yeah, look at Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace is glowing.
Yeah, he's shining, man. He's shining.
You love to see that.
All right, let me say this concerning odds, packs, and everything. It was good to see everyone in the community. Literally, it seemed like everyone pulled something on Friday. So I was watching Twitter, checking, posts and tweets.
I pulled depression.
Stop it, bro. You pulled Pippen, man. But hey, let me tell you something. That's still a pull. Everybody literally was champs. Pull. Everybody, I had people in my stream telling me, Mojo, I pulled, a such and such opal and whatnot, whether it be auctionable, non-auctionable. People were really happy. They were really happy. And Josh, and everybody else on here, I love to see that because prior to the Stellar promo, if you would have invested the 50, 200K VC or the 100 ball, the 450K VC, and you would just wish and pray and hope for a miracle to have one of them opals. And now that everyone is pulling multiple opals, like in 20 boxes, in 10 boxes, it is great to see. I feel like that it was almost a damning situation to see creators, notably Troydan, spend to the tune of $2,000 just to pull one or two opals. That right there to me is not only concerning, it's also alarming, and it's been alarming. And I'm sure 2K is with this right here is rectifying all that. Whenever Troydan, I hope, by the way, Troydan get better. Whenever he comes back, he's going to have a field day, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? But to see great people like HTB, Troydan, and others just rip to barely get an opal was really concerning. But now everyone gets the chance to become a pack champ. Less than 2% odds for an opal is outrageous. 3% for pink diamonds at the stage of the game pre-stellar was insane. No way. 10% for diamonds. I can go down the line. It was wrong. It was wrong to me. However, to see them in 2K rectify the situation, by the way, applause to 2K. You know, as much as we've been critical, we have to applaud them, because not only are they raising the odds, they are raising the game. And I love that. The morale, a little bit of the morale is coming back, in my opinion, and it's great to see. 10% for an opal, 25% for pink diamonds, and basically you almost pull a diamond every one or so pack. I mean, I've seen people pull a diamond and an opal in the same pack. Two of the same promo of the same pack. 2 opals I've heard in the same pack. I mean, that right there, he said must be nice. It could be it could be you next week. It
will not be next week.
Hey, you know what? All right, I'll make you a deal right now, bro. Even if
here we go.
I'll make you a deal. You get 200K VC, 450K VC. I guarantee you pull multiple opals. And if not, I'll get you a VC card.
Multiple non-tradable opals?
It doesn't matter. What? Auctionable, non-auctionable.
Ooh, okay. I believe that I will probably pull multiple opals with 200K, which is more than I can say for just a week ago. And look, I don't have access to a portfolio or a database of transaction reports from 2K. Like, obviously they would, being they are 2K. But like, I have to assume that they probably made more money with this drop than they have in the previous 5 combined. I have to assume.
Well,
right?
All I can say is I would never buy VC in the prior scenario, and in the new scenario, I will be buying VC quite regularly. But let's just hope they change. Let's hope they just keep this, because if they don't, then all of this is out the window, because they added Kareem for $50. They added PG for $50. Then that concept's gone. Like, it's not unlike 2K to add something that people like and is well received and then just nuke it. That's not unlike 2K. So if it goes back to the way it was, then Jazz, I'll have to DM you and be like,
I just feel like
it would be demoralizing. It would. Go ahead, John.
If they do it this way, everyone wins. They make their money, and everyone can be rewarded. And I'm not saying like VC prices, I still feel like that's something that needs to be addressed. Like the pricing talk for sure that's something that needs to be addressed. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's still a win-win at the current state of the game.
I think why they didn't keep those specifically was because I don't think those did the revenue numbers that they wanted them to. And a lot of that probably has to do with the hefty $50 price tag. Like, something clicks in your brain when you're straight up paying $50 for directly one card, as opposed to opening packs, because the packs is like a gambling. It triggers like gambling sensors in your brain. So you're like, yeah, I'll put $50 in, but I could make like $200 worth of value out of this. When it's one single card for $50, it's just you get that card, right? So I think this is something that they could do that helps the community out a little bit more, but then also still leads them to kind of bigger profits. Regardless, I just am looking forward to seeing what they do. Yo, can we get rid of super packs on Tuesday though? I know they make a lot of money, Jazz, but I don't care. Anywhere. They should not. Oh god!
Just at least
just do this. Just do this.
Hey, Ludez, I tweeted this out. I was like, listen, as much as they're doing so well with the odds now, what about the next super packs? And I assume Yao's going to be in there, but what about the next odds for the super packs? Are they going to change that, guys?
I don't think
or nay?
I would assume no.
Is it still less than 2%?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Jacob, what do you think?
I think it'll be a solid 5, maybe. Like maybe.
You think so, Ludez? 5
for the super packs?
Yeah, for the next one, whatever they decided.
I think the super packs don't change. That would be my prediction.
It's not broken. They wouldn't fix it. They're very clear on the fact
that super packs. I think super packs don't change. And honestly, I'm like 50-50 on if they keep this concept. Like I said, like they have done so many good things before and then just nuked it out the window that like I'm not holding my breath on them keeping this concept. But if they don't, just know you're not getting any of my money, 2K. If you keep it, you'll get $50 every other week minimum, probably more. So
I feel like,
and I think
I have some hope
the same way.
Yeah, I have some hope that they'll keep it because I've seen a good mixture of positive reaction and a lot of people opening them. And obviously, they're not opening them with other currencies because they've been clapped up to high heaven. So it's like,
what are the common? I kind of seen a couple. One being that it's going to be impossible for people to badge up cards and sell them now. Your unauctionables are just as likely as they were, so that doesn't change. I'm wondering if anyone else has any other counterpoints to why these new packs aren't good, because I did see quite a few people, especially initially, saying that it was an L. I'm wondering for any sort of counterpoints that are actually available, and I'd be willing to debate them because I don't think they actually exist.
Can I give my thoughts on all of this really quickly? Because I'll let you cook. Let Let me give my thoughts, and then I'll throw to you.
Jazz saying let you cook? Oh, look at Jazz.
Yeah. I'm down with the kids.
I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry, lads. What have I missed?
Nah, your chair was holding you
good.
We're still on the same topic, DBG. So
you can follow on from the monologue I'm about to deliver. So I think I said this on stream on Monday. I stream now. Self-promo. I stream. Apparently, I started streaming and haven't stopped.
Now you can really give Josh a lot of grief about not uploading content.
Yeah, I better at all forms of content than Josh now.
This is the benefit. Wildered right now. He just said, "Wait, what?"
Let me caption this a little bit, right? So on Monday on stream, I was obviously like, I streamed because I was conflicted, right? I wanted to hear what the community wanted to say. There was a lot going on. I was like, right, let me see what's out there, and then there was a lot of obviously emotion and things.
You were
that.
fishing.
I was fishing a little bit, yeah, and I caught some fish for sure. I caught one gremlin as well, which I threw back into the sea. Anyway, there was obviously a lot of anger, but there was one thing going through my mind, which is if 2K don't do something, this is just a punishment. That was it. That was all that was going through my mind. I was like, they have to offset this for both the people who are not banned and for the people when they come back from being banned have an incentive to behave differently. If they don't do that, this is an L. Like, I couldn't see a long-term positive specifically for our community if they didn't do that. So they had to change something. And as Friday rolled around, I was getting more and more nervous. Now, let's be really clear on the fact that 2K dropped the Galactic spotlights simultaneously with the bans on purpose. That was to create FOMO.
Yeah.
That's what it was done for. It's not a coincidence. People are saying, oh, it's so unlucky. That's not unlucky. That's completely intentional. So I already had a feeling after the spotlights dropped that something on Friday was going to change. Now, the change they made, I think some people haven't understood it. So we've spoken about it for 20 minutes, but we haven't really said what it is. So let me say what the change is. Nothing has changed about auctionable cards. You have the same mods to pull them. You have the same right to sell them. Everything else. Nothing has changed. They have added additional odds for unauctionable cards. And those unauctionable cards replace badge packs, things like that, things that we've seen. So if you pulled an unauctionable card this week, that replaced nothing last week. If you pulled an auctionable card this week, you would have also pulled an auctionable card last week, right? So there isn't a downside to this. Like, there isn't. And Luz, I will let you go because you probably do have one. But from my perspective, there isn't.
No, I don't. I was actually just going to say this is the point that I did not understand while screeching about it during my back opening.
Which is the point I'm getting to, because I have a direct relationship with them, and I was struggling to understand it. So if I was struggling to understand it through conversations, it took me an hour. It took me an hour to get my head around it. I realized very quickly that something was up with the duplicates. I didn't really understand it, but I immediately posted, hey, can we put something in for the duplicates? I actually suggested a Hoff exchange for an opal, and that's ultimately what they put in. So that's good, but I still didn't really fully understand it even at that point. It took me too long to understand it. I think this is leading to some advice and one other point. The first bit of advice, if when 2K drop anything new, I don't care what it is, spotlights, packs, whatever, please wait an hour. Just wait an hour, because I guarantee you if they've made a mistake, it will be dressed within that hour. So just wait. Don't pull packs like bang on 11 if that's what time they drop. And the second thing is,
but that's when the odds are the best.
When the odds are juiced, though, Jazz. This is tried and true, brother. Can we
look at Jacob? You're not helping dispel the rumors that we're the same person.
Can we just put to bed the rumors that like the odds randomly change and go up and down at different times? Because 2K have the odds on every pack. If they did that, that would be like hundreds of millions of dollars lawsuit. Like that would be like a massive class action lawsuit if they were changing the odds. They're not going to risk that for like a person's odds going a little bit down. Ludes, you're just unlucky.
I know. I love those videos though that are the best response. I love those videos that are just like, hey, look, if you wait till 6 p.m. and then you wait 3 minutes, if you open packs directly at 6:03, you'll have better odds. I love those. Those are my favorite type of content.
You wait an hour so the inevitable shitstorm that comes with any drop and everything broke and gets fixed. That's what you do. Anyway, the point I was making is they have to continue it. They have to. This isn't optional now. Now they've done this, they have to continue it. Because this is the only scenario where you punish the people that were, breaking TOS, reward the people that were not breaking TOS, and then punish the people that were not breaking TOS. Like, there's no scenario where you should have created that situation. If you were going to revert it, don't do it at all. Because now you've created something you're taking away. So now that they've dropped it, they have to do it. And I have one additional point, because this point is never going to get lost on me. $100 is a stupid amount of money. Now, the one excuse for years.
Thank you.
The one excuse for years, which is true, by the way, this is true. There is no price that 2K can set VC at the MT sites can't undercut, right? So that's been one of the explanations for years of why VC doesn't go down. It goes down to £25 and you get better value. MT sites will just sell MT to undercut that, right? They've got an unlimited supply. That doesn't change the fact that £100 is a stupid amount of money. If you can proportionally reduce it and MT sites have to proportionally react to it, then do that. That's fine.
Eventually, you're going to put them out of business doing that anyway. So.
$100, bro. People like, I say our community rationalizes things. One of the things we rationalize is MT sites. The other thing we've rationalized is $100. $100. And there's people out there spending that money when they don't have it. That's happening.
We've probably all done it in this call.
I never did. I never spent money until I started making content. And that's one thing that it kind of is lost on me, right? Like, and I don't say that like lost on me as in like I don't care. Just like I do forget about that sometimes because like I'm gonna keep it a stack. There's no point in spending money on this game, especially right now with all these good spotlight cards out, unless you're either creating content, have the expendable income. That's the biggest one. Like you should never go broke for 2K packs, right?
Even
that's
as a content creator.
One. Even as a content creator, you really don't have to. But I mean, at the same time, it's a lot easier to justify it as a content creator, since you're making money directly off the game, right? Like, it's easier to justify in my head, anyways. Like 2K money comes in, 2K money goes out. 2K money is a separate, Unbeatable Jacob's got his own bank account, not officially, but metaphorically.
Was that
I was about to say, don't be copping to things on the podcast this time, man.
Metaphorically, right?
We don't need the 250K stream
redo. Even in my Tyson days, I would never spend more than I was making off Twitch or YouTube, like when I did YouTube, right? Like the money has to be higher coming in than it does going out in my PayPal, or else I'll just stop. But there's a lot of good spotlight cards. Like I wasn't banned for the first 2 or 3 days. Seti Osman, Hooper, Del Curry, and Dennis Johnson, passable point guards, which are hard to come by for free. Kyrie Evans, another passable point guard.
Baker,
Vin Baker, people saying his jump shot's money. Like, dude, I swear if I really felt like it, I could go ahead and just get the top 10 spotlight cards as diamonds, load up unlimited, and I really wouldn't have that big of a difference than when I'm playing on like my Yao count, right? Like my record would be relatively similar. Why? Because Seti Osman is practically as good as Dr. J.
No, he's better. He's better than Dr. J. I stand firm on this. Dr. J hit the bench because of Seti Osman.
Yeah, no, Seti's like that, dude.
The
Seti's
Turkish
good.
assassin, bro.
Those cards are good.
That's something a little bit different. 2K support just got back to me. One of my accounts, they lifted the ban straight away.
Sick.
Oh, nice.
And the other one is permanently banned. My nobody spent account that is Kevin Garnett is permanently banned.
Wow. They just don't want you to have Kevin Garnett.
Permanently banned for no reason. But at least my account with nothing on it I can have. Why couldn't you ban permanently the one with nothing on it and kept me with KG? I now have gold diamond Ray for Austin and that's it. I have
one question for you guys. You're all creators. How many DMs did you guys get each of saying I got banned and didn't do anything? And how many of them did you believe?
0%, I believed.
I got 0 DMs. I'm unfriendly.
I got over 100 requests to be on the podcast.
I didn't get any DMs.
No, I got a couple people DM me and said, and they went like very overboard with it, hopefully they're not listening because it kind of sounds odd. They went overboard with it because they like typed out an essay on how they didn't do anything and they didn't get banned, and I'm like, dude, do you know who I am? Like, what am I gonna do for you, buddy? You know what I mean? But people saying that, I just wonder if there's any truth. I highly doubt it. But someone said they got banned for getting KG too quick. He's like, I don't have any auctionable cards on my team. I only play with reward cards. I got KG straight away, and then I got banned. And then he posted like pictures of his team and his account, and like every card, he had like 40K MT with like no auctionable cards. And I'm like, first of all, how'd you even get those pictures?
I'm about to say my super controversial thing. Matt, you go first, but I'm about to drop my super.
No, all I wanted to say was just answer his question and say one more other thing that in my DMs, if I showed you the amount of people that came up to me asking me in a scary way, Mojo, did you get banned or I got banned or what? And for whatever reason, a lot of people think I work for 2K support, so they want to know. They think I'm like the outlet, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. There was a lot of people asking me, and not just in the DMs, but also in stream as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that had a lot of what's the word I want to say? They were scared, you know what I'm saying? They were scared. But anyways, that's the answer to your question. I do want to say this concerning VC, and going back to what Josh and Jacob said, VC has to, in some point, be lowered. I'm not going to go into the context of talking about how 2K should or should not be free. I'm not going to go into that, but I will say this, is that with this game, for so long with these promos, pre-stellar promo, okay, it would have been a miracle for you to pull Opal under those odds, okay? And $100 is exactly what it is. It's $100. It's a lot of money a lot of people don't have. Their product, okay, wasn't matching the value of the promo, and that was one of the biggest issues, but to me, the biggest issue. And that right there is demoralizing. Again, dating back to see Troy Dan pull $2,000 worth of packs, 200 packs, in a stream. To not only get 2 opals was really concerning. So I think they should even instill with these great odds that they have instituted lower VC, just a smidge, just a little bit. As much as they increase, as much as they increase the odds, they need to lower the VC price, in my opinion. I just want to say that.
It shouldn't cost the same for a $20 that it does to power my entire house.
Yeah, the comparison, if you start running at comparisons, like they've priced this as a luxury product where you might not get anything. Right, I'm gonna pivot the conversation slightly because I want to say the controversial thing. Right, so it's a direct response to what Jacob said about have I had anyone? I have had people say I want a giveaway, and I got banned. Okay, now some people are not going to want to hear this, but it needs to be said. I feel incredibly sorry for these kids that have won giveaways and just got banned. Right,
I do want to say that is the reason why I got so angry at Josh at the start.
Yeah, I understand.
That's the reason I got angry at Josh, because there are so many kids that win giveaways, as well as that kids that are watching content creators that are saying you're not going to get banned, as well as if you look at these sites, they say they have a 0% ban rate. So I think
you
anyone
just hijacked my point. I appreciate that, but yes, that is exactly the point I was going to make. That I'm going to go a step further though, right? So the responsibility, because I'm hearing people that ran the giveaways complaining that people got banned for the giveaways. We all know, does everyone on this call know that transferring MT from one account to another is breaking TOS? Do we all know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
As a community, we should know that, yes?
Yes.
So where does the responsibility lie for it not being made clear to that kid that applied to the giveaway that this was breaking TOS?
On the people doing the giveaways.
The people doing the giveaways, right? Because I'm sure they know that it's breaking TOS when they give away the MP.
And the reason this happened is because for so long there was no consequences. So I actually think the creators were doing this in good faith, right? Like, how long has it been since someone got banned? And people get banned for advertising MT but not buying it. Like, there was all these kind of sub rules that could kind of almost rationalize a situation like this. The simple truth of the matter is, guys, if you're gonna do an MT giveaway, it's your responsibility to let the people know applying for that giveaway that they are breaking terms of service. You have to. That's on you. I'm sorry, it just is. That is the most controversial thing I had to say in this podcast.
And what's the percentage of people who actually don't know that it's against TOS who have done it? Probably relatively low. I think back to my friend is a good friend of mine. We used to play MyTeam together back in college in 2K15, and he always loved PG. We had Pink Diamond PG on our little account we shared. We didn't share the account like people do nowadays, in the sense that we traded passwords. It's no, we practically lived together, so we were both playing all the time, right? On the same console. But
did you so you're transferring accounts?
I guess by definition. But what we were doing more than that, what we'd do is we'd go into Road to the Playoffs. He'd play the first quarter, I'd play the second quarter. He'd play the third quarter, I'd play the fourth quarter. Hardly ever lost. We were the dynamic duo, man. But
yeah, you can't game plan against that.
Gave him 200K. Yeah, exactly, right? Like
you literally can't play against two different people the whole time. You don't know.
Yeah, and we played different too. That's the funny part. But he always loved PG back then, so he got the game this year. I actually got a code for him, gave it to him, and we started playing co-op. And I'm like, yo, post 2 cards for 100K so you can buy this Opal PG real quick. I definitely didn't tell him, hey, dude, he might get banned because it's been like 3 years since that's happened, but he would have had no idea. You know what I mean? If he got banned, he would have been like, what the hell? Buying MT? I never done none of that. Jake gave me 200K once, but I almost forgot about that. Like, so I was like thinking that might be like the one off the wall exception. Like, yeah, there's a few people out there who probably
that's a very extreme.
Get a straight. Like, exactly. It's not common.
It's not common.
It's not common. It's not common enough to like make that a arguing point, really. You know what I mean? It's not like it's happening all day. And let's be honest, how many if someone's young enough to not comprehend that this is against TOS and they are legit kids, like, come on, parents, like your kid shouldn't be on Twitter anyways. You see the stuff that I see on Twitter on a daily basis, man. Like, I promise, if I had a kid, they would not be on Twitter.
Boy, say that again. Man, it is. Wow,
I mean, yeah, but realistically, I mean, there are a lot of people who aren't aware of like, or who wouldn't even go and buy MT that they're on Twitter. You know, I'm not saying they're necessarily like little Timmies. They're not like 11 or whatever, but maybe they're like between the ages of like 18 and like, you know, in their upper 20s. They don't really think too much of it because maybe they haven't ever like actually bought an MT before, but they see someone like, yo, follow, like, and reply with your favorite NBA player, you could win 100K MT. You know what I mean? They do like a 1 million MT giveaway. They're not really thinking of it as something that's against TOS. They're just like, yeah, whatever, why not? Who cares? And then they win and they get the DM like, yo, put up a card for 100K. They're probably not thinking like, oh, dude, I'm gonna get banned for this. They're probably just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, this guy just gave me, I'm gonna subscribe to him now. You know,
I mean, the simplest way to put it is the guy who we know is an adult in the room needs to make it clear. Like, that's as simple as it is. That's usually the person holding the giveaway, right? We very rarely see giveaways held by kids, so they got it. I have a question.
That's such a joke way to say it.
You rarely see empty giveaways hosted by kids.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah,
that,
Jazz,
dude.
you don't say.
I would love the percentage of that. Okay, I would love to know. We don't know for sure.
What percentage of giveaways are held by kids?
Yeah, there could be some 6-year-olds holding some fire giveaways. We just don't know.
Has Tanaka ever done it?
Or yeah, we just don't know, dude. You don't know about them kindergarten giveaways. The kids are really good with technology now.
You crazy, Lou.
A kindergartner wouldn't even know what to do with a P5.
You would be so shocked as to what children are able to do nowadays. Are you serious?
Man,
I have a cousin, and she's like 4. And the things that she's able to do with an iPad are insanity, dude.
But
I could
those are
barely.
iPad babes. That's different.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Crazy.
I guess.
No,
dude, I couldn't even turn my Game Boy on.
I was tough on the sticks when I was like 6 or 7. Like,
how tough on the sticks were you?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
They just made you feel good about that.
I had a babysitter. I was at that like awkward age where I was like not old enough to stay home alone. Me and my sister were probably like, I don't know, 8 and 10 maybe or something like that. So my mom
went from 6 or 7 to 8 and 10. Okay, I just want to
yes, I was the younger one. I was the younger one. So we had this babysitter, right? And I would play him in NBA Live. And he was probably like 16, 17 at the time. He was in like high school, and I'd play him in NBA Live. He would get so pissed, man. He'd be, you're cheating. I'm not making you macaroni no more. Like, I'm about to leave. Like, going crazy. I was busting his ass, dude. He was getting so pissed. I remember he just kept saying, you're cheating. And I'm like 8 years old, like, nah, dude.
Why did you have to do Shake like that?
Okay.
Shake.
Wow.
I want to judge him, Jacob, but if I was babysitting like a younger relative of mine and they beat me 2K, I definitely would not make them food afterwards. They would be going hungry for the rest of the day. They would have sleep for dinner.
This guy was actually super cool. He would bring me Snoop Dogg CDs, and then like he'd always
like the No Limit ones.
Yeah, no, it was like all the like crazy, like he had like the old school diss tray with like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all these rappers. I wasn't getting that music, so like when he come over, he wouldn't care either. And then he also didn't care about my sister, which I thought was hilarious at the time because all he wanted to do was play me in NBA Live and get beat, and then go out in my driveway and play basketball with me. So my sister was getting shunned. He was just getting paid to come over and play some live,
just hang out with
8-year-old Jacob.
Hold on, Jacob, you live in Michigan, and you're gonna get a kick out of this because some of y'all underestimate what kids can do. You know, in Michigan, there was a 6-year-old, okay, that ordered $1,000 worth of Grubhub just recently and made national news. $1,000.
That's impressive.
Dude, how could you even get that far into it? Like, how does a 6-year-old think to have like a $500 Grubhub order and be like, nah, this ain't enough, bro?
They see cheeseburger, they click cheeseburger, man. They make it as easy as possible to click these things, man.
You know what's crazy, Jacob? My younger cousin, he's a junior in high school now. But when I was in like high school, like I always been playing 2K. I would always go to their house and play this kid, and he would pop me. Like it was bad. Like I believe like, yo, these younger kids, they be little sluts. These be the little Timmys who play the game now. These be the little Timmys who play the game now.
Little Timmys, man.
I mean, think about it, dude. Like some of the best players, like JB and them, like they were tough when they were like 13, dude. I remember in 2K20, like 2K21, JB would have been like 13 or 14, and he was like almost winning tourneys. 13 or 14 isn't quite 8, but you know, like you get it.
Yeah, still young, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think you have that? What the hell is this?
No, I didn't. It was a joke about the kids.
Oh no!
How do I close this?
Now look.
Right.
Okay. So I guess the point that we were originally on is yes, there should be some type of like onus on the creators at that point. If you're running MT giveaways and people who 100%. Won your giveaways get banned, you shouldn't be able to go and complain about that fact, because at the end of the day, they're probably banned because of you, because you held the giveaway, right? So let's just look inward.
Some did take responsibility, so I'm not gonna for people that got put MT and others accounts did giveaways. Some did. Some people didn't get or stayed alive that they got one giveaways. It's like some people bought MT didn't end up getting banned, but at the same time, there were we can't just lump all creators, because even though most of them that did giveaways and people got banned complained, there were some that did take full responsibility.
Yeah, I guess I'm just talking about a general situation. I never even saw anybody come out and be like, yo, I won this giveaway and I got banned.
I've just seen a handful of people kind of shunning all responsibility for this situation. When you say people have taken responsibility, are you saying before or after the fact? DBG?
Sorry?
Are you saying before?
The people that there were some creators that did giveaways or gave people MT.
Yeah. And
when everyone was getting banned, put their hand up and said, "Look, I take full responsibility. If anyone gets banned from this, I apologize."
Fair, yeah. I mean, yeah.
And one example, what is he's done publicly, so I'll say it, like Henry from like the blessing people. He publicly said he publicly tweeted out, "If anyone got banned, it's my fault."
I haven't done one in so long, but like I wouldn't even mention that if I did a giveaway a month ago, because no one's been banned in so long for it. You know, I guess maybe if someone would have asked me, I definitely wouldn't have been like, no, you're straight. I would have been like, I guess there's a chance, but hey, bans haven't happened in a long time. That's probably what I would have exactly said. But like, they let us get pretty darn comfortable with the whole
exactly. That's kind of the initial point I made, that it's been normalized, so the creators, got in a comfortable space with it. But that also doesn't change the fact that this unfortunate situation happened because TOS weren't made clear.
Yeah.
Right. Both those things are true.
Can I make the point when you're saying like MT purchasing had become so like routine with a lot of people that it used to be the stage people would just pull packs for infinite amount of money, for example, like until they got the cards. And there were a lot more people pulling a lot more packs. But now obviously money's tighter. People got into the routine of spending between $50 and $100 a week on MT. There's a lot of people that got into the routine of spending between $50 and $100 a week on MT to buy the cards. And now people that were in that routine, if they are, and I assume the 30-day bans will be very quick, those guys that were in the routine of $50 to $100 on MT, I think we see more and more of those guys spend $50 to $100 in VC. Because that $100 of MT got them the best cards, and now that $100 of VC will get them the best cards.
Yeah, as long as
let me ask.
As long as it doesn't change. I don't think they'll change it. They're not. I think they get significantly.
It's a suicide mission if they do.
Yeah, if they change, I don't think they change it. I strongly don't think they change it, because I think they get less people spending the $300, $400, $500. But I think that was so few people. But now they probably get everyone who was buying MT, especially if they're quick with the 30-day bans. I think MT selling is going to be in the mud.
Now, let me ask you guys, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Right, I've had people bring it up to me that in other games, specifically Madden and FIFA, when you were caught doing things like this, they'll wipe the currency from your account. Do you think this is something that 2K will do? Because I've had people come in and say, and obviously all of this is internet hearsay, so you never know how accurate any of this is. hey, I've seen people get their accounts back, and then the currency that they purchased has been wiped from the account.
I had more than one person in my stream say that happened to them today.
Yeah.
They just ended a 30-day ban, and someone specifically said they had bought like 500k, and they had 18,000 MT when their account was unbanned.
So I guess if they do that, I mean, the repercussions on that would be bad. I guess it wouldn't be. People are saying that it would be a bad PR thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
No one's gonna have
punishing people that break TOS is never bad PR.
That's how I feel.
I don't think that's a bad PR thing. I feel like if they even, I don't know, you can't substitute that, but like if you got like a 1-day ban and then they remove the MT, I feel like then people would be less likely to buy MT because it's like, what's the point of buying it if I'm just gonna lose it in the end and get banned? You know
and I don't want to like fear monger, because there's been a lot of fear mongering going on, period, in the community. Just because, you know, this is just something that's been brought to my attention over the last couple of days. So we'll find out very quickly on when do the bans end, like Friday or Saturday, right? Because they happen on Monday. They're 10-day bans.
Yeah, Thursday to Saturday, I think.
Yeah, so we'll know pretty quickly. So there's no point in like fear mongering or anything of that nature. But
can I say one thing about that that's gonna kind of probably piss some people off?
Yeah,
I kind of hope they do it, but the reason why I hope that they do it is because I want to make myself seem smart, because once the first ban wave happened, I took the rest of my MT and just started ripping it all. So I ripped all the way down to nothing. I had like 500k left over from Yao. So I would love in like a week to be like, yeah, I saw that coming, dude. I ripped all my MT, you idiots.
I did that today. I did that today on my Xbox account. I was able to get
the reason I bring up fear mongering specifically is because I've seen a lot of I don't want to necessarily call it fear mongering. I think it's like there is a lot to actually be like legitimately concerned about and legitimately paranoid about. But I've seen a lot of people kind of talk about how they're going to start banning other things now, like account sharing and sniping. And I'm here to say no, they are not going to ban anyone for sniping. They're not banning sniping, dude. It's not possible for them to do that. They wouldn't be able to do that in any way, shape, or form.
They did one time, didn't they? DBG?
Yeah, they did. They banned the wrong thing. They, instead of banning people for buying cards for too expensive, they banned people for buying cards for too cheap.
Oh, the algorithm.
Like they messed up. Like they banned. Basically, if you had gotten a 99 overall for 500 MT, you were getting popped. But it was like they unbanned all those people in 6 hours. Like it was a very obvious mess up.
So that was just a bot that was put out. And
that was they put out an incorrect bot that was programmed incorrectly.
So Jazz, you basically, I didn't mean to cut you off, DBG. So you basically say they're not banning for sniping. Is that what's happening?
There would be no way.
They would never do that.
All right. I was about to say, because I have a major issue with that, not because I snipe, no, because I know there's a lot of people that do snipe by the game just to snipe. And also there's great content creators out there that I can mention down the line, from SP2K, Lethal Pain, all the old AY crew that eat off that and that they use that for content. That would be detrimental. And also,
I mean, they couldn't ever do it.
I mean, that'd be crazy. And but how can you even gauge that? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
So the algorithm, the way this would have worked, right, is the algorithm. They would have had a wide algorithm on the first day, and that might be, let's say, gold to amethyst, 100k, right? And they would have set it from a date that, let's say, when amethysts were no longer going for 100k. So when amethysts were at like 40k, for example, right? So let's say, I don't know, 1st of November to today, anyone who's purchased any gem tier for 100k is automatically banned. And then the next day they would have refined it a little bit more. Now there's 100% scenarios where people who didn't buy MT have been banned, and people who have bought MT haven't been banned. But they won't be targeting sniping. Does that make sense? There won't be an algorithm that's built into like.
No, there will be a situation. There will be a situation where someone who has only sniped will get banned. In Crossfire. Yeah, but that might. But of the, let's just say 100,000 people that get banned, it might happen to 3. Like anything that's done on a automated system has the potential for errors.
Guys, I've got the biggest question of the whole podcast. You ready for this?
Ooh, spicy. I like it.
Because
sweating already.
It's the thing. If you're watching this right now, please don't like react to what I said. Just think for a second, okay, before you kind of reach a conclusion.
Yeah, I'll be in the chat. Don't react. I'll be on you.
Yeah. Right. Outside of comp players who need a advantage, a professional advantage because they're playing for money, and content creators who need the cards for content, why do people buy MT? Because I'm going to elaborate a little bit before I hand this over. I put up a tweet the other day. I'm an old school gamer, right? The first game I played was the original Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo, right? And my gaming journey has been completing a game in a couple of days and then playing that game again on a harder difficulty just to challenge myself, right? And usually just to get value for money out the game or whatever. So I come from a different era to most people who play this game. I'm a little bit older, right? So that gets me to where I am today, right? Which is I build a squad that is within my means and I go out and have fun. And the big question I really need answered is this is a no consequences game mode outside of clutch time. Okay? Clutch time is the only consequences built into MyTeam. You can't get reset in anything. You don't lose out. Losing a game is not a problem unless you get reset in clutch time. There is not a single consequence in this game. It's been set up this year to do that. So what is the reason? Is it because people don't want to lose a game of Unlimited? And there's a bigger question I've got coming after this, because I think I have an explanation, but I need to figure it out. But I want to hear what you guys, outside of comp level, high level comp players, well, I'm not talking about like someone who's not really going to win anything. I'm talking about people who actually need that competitive advantage and content creators. Why do people buy MT?
I think it's because right now, not most content creators, but the ones who people go to for like card advice are normally comp players, and being that they're influencers, they kind of speak on cards.
Hey,
they kind of
tread lightly.
Relax. They speak on cards. On cards. They speak on cards like, oh, this is the best card in the game. You need to get this card. And then people feel like they need to get the card. They don't make them buy it, but they feel like
you're saying it's content creators advertising that card.
I don't want to say that. I just feel like some people really like somebody could just casually do a gameplay, but it so happens to be the best player.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't see that with DBG. I mean, or else everybody would be buying MT to go get Gary Payton for 1800.
Yeah, like what?
Like
buying MT for your Wesley person.
Why do we like to pick out the one outlier of? Like, I'm talking about a majority thing. Why are we picking out one?
You're in the same bracket as DBG. There's more than one outlier.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how I don't do gameplays.
No, I see what you're saying.
He never says these are flat out the best cards of the game either. DBG will get gameplay on and tell people.
No, but I see what Josh is saying.
He made a very
I see it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I get it, because like as a 2K enthusiast, they're like, man, I'm having trouble in Unlimited. They go watch some content, they go watch like a tie or a splash or whatever, and they're like, man, I want their team. They're balling with that team. I want that team. So they're gonna go out. All of a sudden, they're gonna find themselves in places that are advertising certain services that are quote unquote safe and reliable with 0 bans. All of a sudden, they're like, you know what, man, I can get that team too.
Can we bring back the space word bird? Do you remember the video where it's like shadymt.com?
Oh, yeah, it's intro.
Use the code BANHAMMER for 5% off.
When he came on the podcast, he said it 3 times. Use the code SPACE for 10% off and check.
I didn't even know. I thought he was serious at first. I was like, wait. It sounded so serious. I was like, whoa, we doing this right now?
A lot of that comes too from the fact that like the farther you get into getting invested in this game mode, the more like, I don't know, the more you feel like you need to succeed. So the more you need to feel like you have to have the best cards in the game or else you're nothing.
You know what's funny about what you just said, Luz? People say that people who buy VC make this game pay to win when there's nothing more pay to win than buying MT.
There's nothing. Yeah,
and they're the same people.
I agree. There is nothing more pay to win in this game. There is no pay to win mechanic more egregious than MT buying. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, gambling mechanics are bad. You're never going to hear me come out here and jump on a limb for gambling mechanics for sure. But from a pay to win perspective, buying in-game currency so you can guarantee yourself the best card in the game, that's pay to win mechanics also. You can sit there and argue if one's worse than the other. I don't necessarily care either way. Honestly, they're both bad in my opinion.
VC's such a shit show, and the odds are such a shit show that you can't even call it pay to win.
Also, I would like to clarify that Weird Flex, your first game ever, is one of the most historic games of all time. Jazz, that's cool. You know what my first game I ever played was?
Okay.
Revolution X.
Love that game. Aerosmith.
No, nobody has ever loved that game.
I loved it.
Okay.
With the vinyl,
Revolution X is a on-rails light gun shooter starring famed rock band Aerosmith. Okay. Where you have to go save Aerosmith from terrorists.
I have no words. That sounds terrible.
You were wrong. It's great.
Yeah,
Until you get to the bus level in Cairo, then it's not great because my game was glitched.
Aerosmith if I had the choice.
What are you talking about? Loving an elevator, dude? Like, have you ever seen Armageddon?
You guys sound like a bunch of gaming nerds. I hear these words you guys are throwing out.
No gaming nerd has ever gassed Aerosmith.
say that word again. You said Cairo. Like, just sounds so nerdy. Like,
if you didn't,
you mean the city in Egypt?
Yeah, that just sounds nerdy coming from you. Like the way you're talking about it. It just sounds so nerdy.
The fact that he named a place. It's fine for intelligent to you, is it?
I think that I think there's a lot of different reasons why people buy MT, and I think that like the above all factor is the fact that like a lot of people are not that financially conscious.
Yeah.
A financially conscious person is not buying MT. I think the root cause is the fact that like, and this isn't me being on my high horse, like, oh, look at Jacob, he's such a financial genius. No. Like, whoever would accuse me of that, like. No, I just think that like people just like aren't that smart about where they spend money. So like, yeah, when you really sit down and think about it, like, damn, man, I'm paying money for these pixels. It doesn't make that much sense, but I don't think people really sit down and think about it. I think they just like, oh, new packs come out. I'm looking at the database. Ain't no way they gave him this jump shot. Well, I'm gonna load up some Tyson. I don't really think they think about it. I think they just do it. Like, and then probably I think most people, if they see their actual total amount they spent, that's an eye opener because I don't even think people realize how much they do spend. Like, I personally didn't, but like not to the point where I'm like surprised at it. Like, oh my god, I need to stop. I'm like, oh, this is a lot more than I thought.
Matt. I can see you had your hand up.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was.
Matt puts his hand up when he wants. I feel like a teacher with Matt.
No, I'm being respectful. You know. Here's the thing. I can interject. I can scream. I can do whatever, but I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna be nice.
The virtual hand.
Yeah, exactly. There it is.
How do you do that?
Wait, you can do that?
Do that, yeah.
You look at it. Look at you teaching old dogs new tricks. I'm gonna use that to just annoy Jazz.
But how do I do that?
A catastrophic degree.
No one tell him how to do it. He's gonna do it non-stop.
Look at Jazz.
No, I gotta know how you do. Okay, so in my opinion, the reason why is very simple. In my opinion, and that is this. Let me just do this. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, this is about to be a flex, isn't it?
Uh-huh. All right. So my handwriting is terrible, but you can't see it because it's black.
Oh, no.
There it is. Even the odds. It's odds. The odds were so bad that you had to rip, millions of MT sometimes to get a good card, or to obtain the card, such as a Yao Ming, you would need 2 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Mojo, why does someone want that card?
He's not even fun to play with.
Okay, because it's a desirable card, and with the culture of 2K, that has been implemented to have the best cards. It is what it is.
Yeah.
With that being said, now what 2K has done, which is a major dub, allowed most of the player base, if not all, the opportunity with VC to get the best cards without, doing all that. I think that is a dub because otherwise people would still rip MT like that for great cards. Also, real quick, my first game was, and I hope this shows up, and it may or may not, but that's my very
that is a tough game. Yeah, I had that. Yeah,
Castlevania.
I feel like everyone has a cooler game than me. I swear to God.
Your game is
Castlevania.
Super Mario 64.
And this one too. Yeah, this one.
W game.
Yeah,
am I the only one to start with Pokemon?
But Matt, you gonna see the
movie? With that?
Matt, you gonna see the Super Mario movie when it comes out?
I am. Yeah, whenever it does. I don't know who's gonna play it.
April.
It's in April.
Yeah.
Who's the main actor? What's the guy that
Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt. Yeah, you
weasel.
That's you. You gonna be playing. That's right. Yeah.
No, Chris Pratt is such a little weasel, dude. I hate him so much.
Are we saying that Ludes looks like Chris Pratt?
My daughter said that you look like Chris Pratt and that you
need to get a stronger subscription to those lenses, bro. That is
my kid said that you look like Chris Pratt.
I'm so offended by that. I hate Chris Pratt so much.
DBG, why do people buy MT?
Because they want the cards.
Why do they want the cards?
Because they want the cards. Like, the cards are better.
They can't want the cards because they want
like
the cards.
if people didn't want better cards, the fundamental thing that this game mode does wouldn't exist. The people didn't want these players.
But so let me use me as an example.
I have a question.
Hold on.
Yeah, but like you're talking to a person who didn't spend money on anything on the game until I had 35,000 subscribers. I'll use budget cards. People want the best cards in the game, in everything.
Okay, so let me use my squad as an example, right? So I've got a really good squad, right? And occasionally a player comes up that I will like pull packs for, whatever, right? Harden, for example. But I've got a good squad. You know, I have a pretty strong success rate in unlimited. I've never kind of been resetting clutch time. I'm just in a good place. Like I've had the money.
You got Larry though, so like you have the time. You've put in.
I've had to buy Yao since he dropped, and I haven't, right? Because I don't think it's going to change my.
Can I ask? Have you run into an experienced Yao user online yet?
I haven't lost to a Yao.
Okay, because when you run into that person who knows how to use Yao, I'm not gonna lie, something switches in your brain where it makes you want to go get that card because it's so ridiculously unfair.
It makes me want to beat him even more when somebody knows.
Okay, all right.
You're not beating anyone else to use Yao, Josh.
Hold on.
I'm saying it makes me.
Marcus All can do it. Marcus All can hold it down.
Thank you.
He's bad, but he's good.
Let's say this real quick. Let's be honest right now, everybody. Let's be transparent. If 2K made better cards that were grindable, that were especially for the no money spent crowd, we wouldn't have to be paying $2 million or whatever the case may be for all these major cards. Let's keep it a buck. If there was
they've done that this year though.
There's no last week though. After we got after we got that
he's amazing, by the way. Yeah.
Everyone was on the like. Okay, if they keep making cards, I thought we was past that.
I mean, JaVale's my backup center, and it took me like
JaVale McGee.
I mean, Matt makes a good point. It's not like they're not doing that currently, but he's just saying like that is another way to de-incentivize people.
Here's the problem. It's not the problem that the free cards aren't good, because recently with Yi and KG and Seti and all these other dudes, Wiggins, they are good. Here's the problem. Yao shouldn't exist. Ben Simmons shouldn't exist. Those cards are literally anti-competitive cards. They're not good for the game. They're trash. Their ratings are way too high for January or February. Screw that. They're stupid. They shouldn't be in the game.
The reason why they're in the game though is because from day one they released 10 Hall of Fame badge pink diamonds to get people to buy packs. The cards in packs need to be better than cards that are grinding.
No one cares about
no.
Wait, sweat.
I have a theory on this.
Who's a Ben Simmons fan? Seriously speaking, like he's bad. He's bad. No one sees Ben Simmons like I want.
Yeah, but like people rip packs for bowl like. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
Yao doesn't exist either.
I have a theory on why Yao exists. This has been my theory since he came out, and specifically since the ban wave came out. I personally think they dropped Yao Ming specifically to lure people out who bought MT.
Yes,
that's my theory.
That's not a theory.
Yeah. They definitely didn't.
Wait, they
definitely didn't. But that was a good side effect. They definitely did intentionally do that.
I think they did personally. I think they did.
The last three pack-ups have been to set this up.
I don't know. I personally think if they've been planning this ban wave for a while, what better way to entrap people than to drop the most broken card we've ever seen at this
Why
stage,
is that your name?
intentionally?
They're not intentionally trying to trap. Like,
why is that your name?
You just finally see it.
They're not like evil geniuses. Like they're a for-profit.
No,
company.
if I can think of that in 5 minutes, the way that I am, I'm pretty sure somebody who gets paid there can do it.
No, but like they're not evil geniuses. Like they don't want to introduce someone to buying MT. Like,
that's also a fair
They're not
point.
Actively...
I don't think they would introduce anyone. It was to make everyone that would buy it anyway make another purchase, probably.
There's no
because
way.
if they do cap the MT amount,
happy side effect.
Could be interesting.
Happy accident. There's no way they intentionally did that. There's no way they intentionally put it in a system to say we're gonna make people want to buy MT. If you're saying I wouldn't be surprised if there is some correlation. Maybe they didn't sell packs the way they thought they would have in Yao, so they went around this. But there's no way. That's a happy accident. They did not intentionally do that. No company in their right mind would do that.
The card is just way too souped. Like him and Ben Simmons both can be knocked down like a super tier. Because here's the thing, right? So his 78 speed and 80 speed and 78-3 on paper seem low. Those should be the highest that you can get his 3 in speed with your shoe and coach. Like if his speed with a shoe and coach was 80, in my eyes, it's still way too much. But like, okay. The problem is with a shoe and coach and adding badges, you can make this dude like way too tough. I mean, I just don't think that like that's if you like using a card like that, like I just don't see 2K in the same vein as you do, because that just seems like
I feel like you're toxic if you like to use a card like Yao and Ben. I know this is an ignorant thing to say, but I genuinely believe.
Where is this going?
People who want to use Ben Simmons and Yao use it strictly to be toxic, because there's no way it's fun to back me down for 24 seconds in the whole possession, play after play, and you think that is fun.
Not fun for you.
There's no way.
There are people at player lock and do everything they can to make sure they don't touch the ball. There are people that literally player lock. Corners sit with their center, and all they do is set screens to make sure they do everything.
I played somebody like that and limited. Like, I couldn't believe it. This dude was sitting there running plays. He wasn't even a ball handler. He was the wing. He's setting screens on me so the point guard, the AI point guard, can go and score. I said, I'm not playing.
Game is game, bruh. You know?
No. I quit the game. I was winning, but I didn't want to sit through that. I quit. I like, you want your ring? Take your ring so I don't have to see you again. I load up again. I match up again with him. I'm like, I'm not playing limited until like maybe Sunday. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
I'm like, I know I keep circling back to this question, but I really am struggling to hear an answer. Like, I really want to answer this question, but I just can't answer it. Like, what? Like, I played 30 Tim Thomas users, right? 30 people that have got that card, probably more. I've probably seen one person do one dribble move with it. But these people have bought this card to sit in the corner and shoot threes.
Stiff arm.
They bought MT to get that card. Why? What is the? Is it just
the flex? It's the flex. Come on, man. It's the flex.
Is that really what it is, though?
Yeah, it's a lot of different things, but it's partially the flex, and somewhere on the subconscious level, I think it's also to get those free. Well, when it actually works, because most of the time, if somebody just quits, you don't even get the win, so it doesn't matter. But I think it's a lot of time to make people quit, because half the time I see those squads, I probably could beat those people. I'm just like, bro, not doing it. Not playing against Yao. Quit all day. I'm a quitter.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's all about it's like a fear tactic. I mean, whenever you see a squad like a Tim Thomas, what was that? Lord,
that's Zeke.
Zeke.
Sorry, guys.
I was about to say, dude, I thought I was gonna have to do the virtual Heimlich on somebody.
It's the virtual Heimlich. Okay,
he's not doing so great because it's so cold outside. I can't really do that much with him right now. You know what I mean? It's like
just
5
gotta cuddle
degrees
him,
out.
man.
So.
Keep him warm, man. Just
I've been trying to bring him
dope.
out and all that, but nah, he's fed up with this inside life. But sorry about that, guys.
No, man, you're fine. Where was I? But when you see a crazy lineup like a Yao or Tim Thomas, you could throw anybody in their events. Hard and whatever, a lot of people automatically quit, but it is a flex. It's crazy to see a lot of people just go out there with Tim Thomas though and stiff arm to the rim. Like, where's the skill? You know what I'm saying? I would hope. I would hope.
If I'm at a point now where if I see Markelle Fultz lined up as someone's point guard, it scares me more than you.
Oh yeah, no,
bro. Yeah.
If I see Wesley Person, if I see Wesley Person,
Porter,
man. I be in hell matches with the amethyst guys, bro. This dude got Curry. I'm playing. I see amethyst. I said, hold on, let me set up real quick.
Yeah, for real.
I already know he wants some BS.
I know it's not his fault, but every time I line up against an unlimited demon who's running Wesley Person, I blame DBG. Every time. I'm like, this is your fault.
He's just better Ricky Davis.
No, Nike.
Man. My God.
Nike, when I was laughing with Nike, he's beating me so bad. He brings in a amethyst. And I'm like, oh, he's just trolling me now. He's shooting from limitless. I'm like, why are you shooting at green? I said, wait a minute.
Nah, Wesley Person is cracked, though. He's so good.
He's the best shooter in the game.
You see, you can't say things like relax.
He is shooter. He's got Oscar Upper, one of the best bases in the game, with Hall of Fame range center 95 3-ball. Explain to me who's a better shooter than him.
I don't know if
Russell, Terry Dissinger.
No. Wesley's better than Cassie.
Doesn't even hold Agent 3s.
Scottie Pippen, hello.
No. It's all on the same level.
Bob Sura.
It's all on the same level. Everybody who was just named there could arguably be debated as the best shooter because of the way shots are this year. It's not like one shot is like extraordinarily better than the next. There's like 5 to 10 bases and then like 3 uppers. And if you have any of that mix match, you could argue that's the best shot. So like, Wesley is right there with all them other dudes when it comes to like best shooters in the game. But he's not nearly as good as DBG makes it out to seem because he's got basic escape, which means he literally cannot put the ball on the floor outside of doing a size up.
Catch and shoot.
So he's really good. He's really good. He's got a knockdown jump shot, no doubt about it, but he's not that good.
I don't know.
Jacob.
The other dudes I named to run the offense, that pick and roll.
Cassie doesn't even hold Agent 3s. Terry can't even hold range. Like,
what do you mean? Kazi doesn't even need anything else. Like, he's perfect the way I come off that screen with Kazi, it's a green every time.
Well, not against me when I play you.
That's a lie.
You're ducking me. You're ducking me.
I'm ducking you. I'm sorry. My
PlayStation.
goal, Luke. I have to
You
run
had a
goal, Luke, and
PlayStation.
Art against you.
I would run goals if we have to. It does not matter. You're
You
gonna
run goals.
play
You're
me.
not beating your
Get
goals.
him.
Come on,
You're
don't.
gonna
That's
play
what
me.
you
Josh.
do.
You're gonna play me.
I
Stop
beat these
ducking.
spotlight challenges with goals. You're not beating me with goals. You're not beating me with goals.
You beat the AI with goals? Are you serious? Are
Yes.
you flexing that right now?
You beat the Lakers with goal, Luke Kennard dropping 40 and then talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
have
is
a
kind
theory
of a
that
flex,
he
though.
got
Yeah,
his whole console back.
Jazz.
Got my whole console back. Hey, I'm unbanned on my account. That
Wait.
Diamond Ray for all.
No. Me and Ty made an arrangement. Made an arrangement. You're gonna get in the lab, and after the day before calls, I'm gonna play you. I'm gonna be in the lab with Nike, JC, and maybe.
I need an account before I can get in the lab.
I'll find an
Can't even
account
get
for you.
through the menus.
I'll find an
need an
account for you.
account,
Don't
like-
worry. I'll find an account for you. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
but until I know for a fact that I can play for more than like 2 days, I'm not getting on anyone's account.
Yeah,
I
I would
take
love to.
anyone
I would
down with
love to give you my account and everything, but I
it
like
wouldn't
it
even
being
work. I have a
alive.
P5. I have a P5. It wouldn't even
So do
work. It wouldn't even matter. So then play with me. What are we talking for?
Yeah, this game really needs to be crossplay. By the way, I just feel like that needs to be
It's so
continuously
sorry.
stated.
Wait,
It
Detroit
really
not get
does.
banned?
No, I don't think so.
I doubt it. It doesn't
Don't think
matter
he
how many
cares.
chances he got.
No, but by the way, I want to say something real quick concerning the odds, and then y'all can say what y'all want. I'm gonna say two things, okay? Number one, when you got ballers, multimillionaires buying MT, then you know it's a problem, okay? You know the odds were bad, and that to allude to your
That is an
to-
understated
I
point.
think one of the things is that someone who highly likely got banned for buying MT was in a advertisement by 2K during the ban wave.
crazy.
I'm not saying for a fact, but like I know he did last year, but and he hasn't streamed since the ban wave, so I don't know.
Who the
Maybe
hell
I'm
is
just
that?
putting 2 and 2 together.
I don't know. Who it
He's
is.
talking.
I don't. Yeah, tell me off. I don't have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Troy just scheduled a stream called "Yo, did I get banned on NBA 2K23?"
Yeah, he's
So-
gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He might have.
I
Flight
was so
did.
scared to stream. I was so scared to stream like during these last few days.
Why?
I'm like-
Why were you scared, Josh?
I felt like they were just throwing it out, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
I
man.
spent
This was the best time
every
to
time I
stream.
error coded on my nobody spent account. I literally was just like, I literally tweeted out, I was like, is anyone else nervous anytime on like nobody spent accounts that they're gonna get banned?
Yeah.
I should have been nervous because I got permanently banned. Not even a 10-day. I got permanently banned on a nobody
Man.
spent account.
Yeah, they weren't messing around with you.
They also one banned the other one.
Hey, we need a MT laundering system. No, I'm joking.
Oh
Jazz,
my god!
Jazz.
That's a
Never
joke.
show your
That's a
game
joke.
attack
That's
again.
That's a joke.
No, I'm
It's a
gonna-
joke. I swear.
Terrible
I'm
joke.
joking. I'm joking.
Can I promote my scam?
What
I think
the-
that-
You're
Wow.
pumping up.
Stop me. Yeah. Stop me if this is against TOS, but I don't think it is.
Okay.
I will be doing a pump and dump soon. Follow me on
Oh
Twitter if
my
you guys want to be
God.
involved.
Pump and
Essentially,
dump.
yeah. So the way this
You
is
need a
pretty
better
much
name,
working-
man. That's bad marketing. You need
That's
a better
the official.
name.
That's the official name, dude.
You're selling the wrong thing.
What
You're
is
selling
it?
the
No.
wrong thing.
Look,
That's
so
what
pretty
it's called,
much,
Josh.
yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. So, tried to do it before, didn't work out as good as I hoped. Essentially, gonna be a small group of people who I know, people who I trust, or people who have the capital that make this work. So there need to be a lot of capital involved.
Oh dear God, we're
So
getting
pretty
investors.
much buy up all of the supply of a card that's already relatively rare. Get a few creators with actual influence to buy all those cards, and we get the thing going. So we make him even more rare, so he doesn't exist. And then we all start just going on Twitter saying this card's so good, so good, so oh my god, he's so good. And then we just fix the market and sell all our copies back because
you are
that's going to be the way
villain.
we
you-
build
so
them up.
You're doing
Now we can't
what
buy
people
villainous.
accuse me of doing for years.
I was just gonna say
You're
the
literally
same
doing what
thing.
people
Yeah, but
accuse me of
here's
doing.
my safekeep though, DBG, is that I'm telling people out front that this is gonna happen. So if you miss the boat, that's on you. Sorry, dude.
And
I made
guys,
this
little
public.
guys, anybody in chat, like what Jacob said, I want you guys to know this. The strings was pulled from DBG.
Is
You guys
there-
were right. Every conspiracy you had, he's controlling the strings. Jacob's just a puppet. DBG's the mastermind behind it all. You guys were right. That's it. I'm just confirming that.
I
He
tried
is
to
the
do it.
ultimate
I tried to
mastermind.
do it with the playbook, and it somewhat worked for me. But I don't think the other people involved really profited like they should. But truthfully, that doesn't matter anyways. So if the same thing happens that happened last time, I'll be happy because I can't buy. I won't buy MT anymore. So
Yeah.
pump and dump coming soon.
Are there any players
I need
with,
a
like,
better
the
name than
name
that.
with names close to with Charles that you can do, or someone with a name close to Ponzi.
Ponzi.
Bonzi Wells.
Bonzi Wells. Yeah.
Bonzi Wells. Do what Bonzi Wells is doing. We're doing the Bonzi scam.
That's great. Right, listen, guys. There's a couple more things. We've done 2 hours something. Couple more things we've got to try and get through. Right, next thing is MT sites and how they've impacted the game. Right, so I want to talk about a few different things. This isn't about auction house or acquiring cards or VC prices. This is about in-game functions that we need to touch on really quickly. A couple of changes that have been made as a direct result of MT sites. 2K can't stop MT sites, but they can slow them down, and that seems to have been their tactic this year. One thing they've done to slow them down is the unlimited points nerf. Wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for MT sites' existence. We'd still be able to get through to that 6,000 points in like 20 games instead of the 50 games it takes us now. So that was a direct result of MT sites existing. So again, if you're purchasing MT, you need to understand that there's in-game mechanics being affected by it. And the biggest thing, which has already come up, is the no win for an instant quit. I just want to be clear, 2K don't care about boosting. They don't care about people boosting to get unlimited if it's just personal. They care if it's done by MT sites and bots. That's what they really care about. So no wins for an instant quit is directly to stop MT sites. It just slows them down. Like I said, if they could just load into a game, load out again, load into a game, load out again, they could farm MT 10, 20, 30 times faster than they're doing it. So the only reason that quit issue has never been resolved is because it's intentional and it's designed to slow down MT sites. So I just want to get your thoughts on that stuff. Those two mechanics, in specifically the unlimited points nerf and the no.
Let me say this about that. So if that's made to slow down MT sites,
yeah.
Why, if that's what they want to do, couldn't they slow down MT sites even more? Hypothetically, couldn't they detect the accounts that are the accounts buying all these cards for 100K nonsense and delete those accounts and ban those accounts rather than ban the purchasers?
I think they do. There's just so many of these accounts that it's hard.
So I think
can't they IP ban them?
They started doing.
I mean, no, DBG posted that.
Wait, did you guys see that?
Did you see the Facebook
consoles
video? The warehouses,
the monitor. Yo, it's crazy.
Guys, this guy has sent me so many clips of that MT farmhouse, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what.
Send them to me because I'm just curious, like morbidly curious.
I'm not going to share them around, but it's wild.
He posted them on the Facebook page, didn't he?
He posted a one or two, yeah, but yeah, he sent me. Yeah, it's.
Can crazy. I ask? Like, is that this person doing this, or is he like? Does he?
I'm not going to get into it any more than that because this is a really shady operation. So I don't really want to.
What do you mean? It looks above board.
Get involved, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, it looks fine. It looks like it's going good. You know, definitely doesn't look sketch at all.
Okay, I got to say this before the podcast ends, guys. MT sites are illicit businesses. All the rumors, not all the rumors are true, but they might be. Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. I'm a business owner. I've worked in the charity sector for over a decade. I know what illicit businesses do. Okay, so these are the things that are not up for debate. MT sites are an illicit business. You've never got a receipt. There's no product they provide. They are an illicit business. That's a fact. That's not up for debate. Secondly, it's black money. These are not registered websites. These are not registered businesses. It's black money. The only way you can turn black money into real money is money laundering. Also, not up for debate. I've also had now inside info on some of this stuff, which is kind of grim. Money laundering has connections to every form of criminal activity you will ever imagine, and very likely does. So I think it's important that if we are going to continue down this road, if we're going to say VC is unethical, which it is, we need to say the other side is unethical. And this is kind of my conclusion for this whole podcast. Both things are wrong. I would say some of the things that MT sites do are the worst of humanity. So I just want to make that really, really clear that there's no moral upside to buying MT.
I think that's that thing that I think the community as a whole has struggled with over the past week is just multiple things can be true at the same time. Like, yes, 2K's business practices could be viewed as unethical or shady or a little bit greedy, right? While at the same time, you could also look at MT purchasing and being like, that is also unethical and bad as well. They can both be bad at the same time.
Yeah.
That is what the community kind of struggles with. It's like, oh, 2K bad, but I'm buying MT. Okay, that's also bad. That's not even just bad for just a game mode, but it's probably just not great in general. You're giving your PayPal information to who knows who at that point, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's been the main discourse that I've seen is just two sides of the spectrum. Either ha ha ha, you got banned, which is not chill. Like, people didn't just choose to go buy MT because they just love breaking the law, dude. They did it because probably there's reasons behind it in some capacity, and normalization has occurred. And then B, you can't just scream at the ether at 2K when you're also buying MT. Like, you can't scream about how every card is too expensive, so you have to buy MT when you're buying MT, because that's the reason every card is too expensive.
Yeah.
If you played old 2Ks, you know that, like, the auction house wasn't really like this before, even as recently as like 2K20. I mean, every card since KG, the toppers have been over $1 million every single time, like without fail, for an entire week.
Yeah, the inflation.
I think all I could remember is like in 2K20, like a card, like the expensive card was like 1 mil, 2 mil. It didn't come out and it was that much. It would be like if it's just
was
it rare.
Was it the cards back in like DBG would know because he's literally the encyclopedia.
The gatekeeping
was it like
cards,
2K15? Right? 2K20 in them, like we know them. I know those anyways because I was like really paying attention then. But in 2K15, wasn't like Onyx Kobe and Onyx T-Mac like egregiously priced?
No, I had all those cards. Like I did the shake and bake glitch before they patched it.
What about 16?
It was 16 where it was the Wild West of like coin selling.
Throwback Thursday Kobe or something.
Yeah, it was like there was rare. It was Kyrie Irving low spot it, and it was like 11 million coins with no added badges.
Yeah.
I just feel like this year
it's not unprecedented. That's what I kind of thought.
No, the consistency is unprecedented for me. Like, you know what I mean?
Wait, what other thing about?
The price of cars this year.
It was 20. But I mean, like, there was 25 million MJ last year.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying anything about last year. I'm just saying, like, the past few years since the boom of microtransactions in 20, when it really started to explode and get kind of out of hand. Like, I feel like cards have been consistently more expensive.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think it's just to a degree because, like, it's not like before they were ever anywhere.
No, yeah, it's cheap, not like they were like 45K before, and now.
Yeah, and then also too, MT is now cheaper as well. Well,
no contracts.
You know what I mean. Yeah, and no contracts, and I don't care. I will die on the hill. That does make an impact. I've probably saved $1 million MT. I've probably saved $1 million MT this year just off and not. Oh, dude, I remember I put out a tweet just halfway trolling at the start of the year saying bring back contracts when cars are going for like 700K, and some dudes took that way too seriously. Dudes were so pissed at me, and I was mostly joking because Chandler kept saying it, so I was laughing at it. I just tweeted the same thing. People came at me sideways for saying bring back contracts and bring down prices. And people, went real educational on me. Oh, it doesn't really matter because of X, Y, and Z. Like, no, it does make an impact. Like, just think about it, man. Like, there's a total supply of MT across all users. All users no longer have to buy contracts. Total amount of MT in circulation goes up. Price of cars go up. Like, it's not rocket science. It's just also a matter of like to what degree.
Like, people don't understand that there's only 2 ways in which MT is obtained in MyTeam. There's only 3 ways. Sorry, because there's no MT rewards. Rewards, as in like winning a certain amount of games, get a certain amount of MT. There's 3 ways. Rewards, rewards, sort of playing the game. Like end the game MT, and discarding cards. That's it. One of those had a stage where we were paying, it was 600 MT for 5 games for one of our players. So we were just playing unlimited through 5 games. Let's just say you only had a 10 man and you had cheap guys. That's 6,000 MT per 10 games. That's 600 MT extra a game for unlimited that you're saving from other years. But at the same time, the only way of MT leaving is purchasing packs with MT, or the 10% auction tax.
Yeah,
tax, and that leaving. So less and less people are buying. If less people are buying packs with MT, and there's more MT on the market, like cost of everything's going to inflate. I would say there's probably 1.5 times the amount of MT on the market. So the fact that cards are 1.5 times the price of last year should be the case.
I mean, we're completely disregarding the fact that MT sites set the prices as well.
Yeah, they know. Like, they price fix everything. Like, there's no...
Yeah, they buy them cheap and then sell them for more. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. It's why you see, like, with every card, it kind of goes up after a few hours. That's
the flash forward pink diamonds were where I noticed it the most egregiously this year specifically. Because there was a point where they were going for 14K, and then I'm not even kidding. I feel like I closed my eyes and reloaded again. They were all 30.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Cool. we got to talk about content quickly. I know we've done 2.5 hours. There's one thing I want to get out of the way, guys. Help me out here. What does a Next Maker do? Can someone remind me? Because I've been told so many things this week about what a Next Maker is and does.
Appear on 2K TV and only say positive things about the game.
Yeah. What else?
Get invited to Community Day. Can I be your +1, Jazz? Because I just really want to go to Community Day. I don't think 2K wants me as a Next Maker, which is sad.
Jacob, I'm going over to LA. We can split a hotel room.
All right, let's do it.
DBG's
I'm going anyway.
Yeah, what can we do? What can we do during the event that like somehow trumps the event? Can we
guys?
Do
That's
something
the
like
one. That's the 1 year. That's the 1 year podcast live appearance. Okay.
Should I run the tournament I ran again, but in person that weekend?
Yeah, if I can find an Airbnb to do it, get all the guys that aren't going to get invited to Community Day and just run essentially a LAN tournament.
That would be so fun. We have to do it.
Yeah, we actually.
I'll do it.
That'd be cool.
If we can find
everybody out.
If we can find an Airbnb good enough, I'll do it. Like.
What time of year is it? It's in like August or September, right?
I've never been. I don't know.
Yeah, we gotta think of something to do during the event.
You're gonna go
somehow will make me okay with not being there. We'll have to find something fun to do. GBG.
I mean, if we can get a good group of us going, then it'll be good anyway. It's basically like a community meetup.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean,
I'm doing it anyway.
Outsiders.
The more people tagging along, the better.
Yeah,
we should all go. Hey, we was talking about go to New York. Why not do it in LA, man? A whole meetup.
We do a live podcast out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, guys, just to be clear, a Next Maker is someone who provides feedback on the game to 2K. We don't get paid. We don't get free cards. We don't get anything, actually, if I'm being completely honest.
You got T-Mac, didn't you?
We got a headache. I gave that away. I didn't get one. I get a headache sometimes. That's something I get from being in that program.
You get harassed.
Yeah, you get.
Yeah, I do.
You
get grouped. You all get grouped in together.
Yeah, I get reflected by other people. That's also fun. Right, listen. I just a couple of things really quickly. Without Next Makers doing what we do, you have no feedback going to 2K. So tread lightly is my advice on this whole concept. Because if we get tired of the abuse and give up, you're down to 1 or 2 people providing feedback on your behalf. So if you appreciate the podcast and the feedback that I give, I mean, I've literally sat here and said VC prices are gross. That was the exact word I used, I think. If you appreciate feedback like that getting through, then protect people. And if you've got a problem with a Next Maker, at them. They're all grown men. We don't need to be grouped together. Yeah. We're all different people. I've seen Fit, Meech, Floki all do things in the last week that have instigated change, and we do that, and it does work. But if you've got problems with individuals and how they represent the game or the company or whatever, at them. If it's me, at me. I'll deal with you as well. Like, just stop grouping us together, please, for the love of God. Stop grouping us together.
If you want a new Greg Ostertag card, you need to add them.
No one wants
to
that.
tell them.
Stop it right there.
You need to tell them.
You use Greg Ostertag. That standing dunk is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. They knew what they were doing there.
That's so crazy.
Nobody wants RJ Barrett.
Why would anyone want the 9th best player in the 2019 draft?
Top role player.
The worst third option in the one of the worst third options in the NBA.
DBG, who's your team?
Miami.
Why are you laughing? You're a Knicks fan. Why are you guys?
Oh my God, you guys suck, bro.
You're a Knicks fan.
Didn't we just dog you? Didn't RJ just give y'all 30? I'm relaxed.
On just some like probably 4 shooting.
Oh my God.
And hold on, I want to address this loose. Change that name right now. I don't understand why you're a #1 Randall hater. 2-time All-Star. Who was the one who said Gerald Wallace was better than Julius Randle? He's a 2-time All-Star now. Not one.
First off, I still stand firm on that Gerald Wallace was better.
Do you know who has the most points against the Knicks this season? Fred VanVleet.
Yeah. We see
them
together.
4 times. We see them 4 times.
He's still averaging 30 on you guys.
But no one ever talks. No one talks about when Randall averages 30 or 35.
I know. Randall's a good player. I know. I'm cool. I'm not. I'm cool with hype of Randall. RJ Barrett's not Randall though.
Bro, stop.
There's nothing in this
Randall
world.
Or Brunson, not RJ Barrett.
Stop.
Josh, I have one question for you. Or not even a question. It's more of a statement. I'm more impressed with the Knicks fans for not thinking they're going to get. I can live with that. I'm surprised that Knicks fans aren't saying that they think that they're going to get Kyrie because
we don't want him. We literally don't want him.
Yeah, normally when Knicks fans, anytime someone hits the trade market or free agent market, the Knicks fans and Lakers fans always think they can get every player ever. So I appreciate that the Knicks fans have been
we have Brunson,
Kyrie.
We have Brunson. We don't need Kyrie.
I've seen a Knicks fan. One playoff series is down to sit in this millennium.
Stop. Anyways, I seen
Am I wrong?
seen a Knicks fan. Nope. I seen a Knicks fan talking about, oh, we should make this trade for Kyrie. I'm like, why would we trade for Kyrie when we literally have a point guard? He's like, oh well, I seen the Cavs did it. They got what was his name? Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. We are not the Cavs.
Josh,
we don't need another point guard.
I hear everything you're saying. Do you want to talk about what happened on stream yesterday?
What happened on stream?
I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, I do want to hear about that.
First of all, Gerard, I just want to say you are so crazy for setting me up like that. Everyone knows I'm a passionate LeBron James fan. And if there's anybody I want to see him play before, if there's anyone I want to see him play with one more time before he retires, it's definitely Kyrie Irving. Someone convinced me that the Lakers received Kyrie in a trade, and I lost it on stream.
This guy celebrated at the top of his lungs for 3 months.
You're a Knicks fan celebrating that the Lakers maybe became contenders. You're a fake Knicks fan.
Did you miss the first?
No, that's horrible. You just said I'm a big LeBron supporter. Like, why, bro? Like, what?
Bro, when I first started playing basketball, he was the first player.
I love Lionel Messi, but if Lionel Messi scored 8 goals against Leeds, I wouldn't be happy.
What does the Lakers have to?
What does the
Lakers have to do with the Knicks? What is the Nets? If anything, think about this like that. Think about it like this.
Nothing, Knicks, because you're not good enough to ever make a finals.
Be quiet, and listen, please. If the Nets lose Kyrie. If the Nets lose Kyrie Irving, the other team in New York, they get worse. We become the best team in New York. Of course, I want Kyrie gone. Like, why wouldn't I be happy?
Imagine not being the best team in New York when the Nets are the other franchise in New York.
No. Even losing Kyrie, the Knicks won't be better than KD and whatever left of the Nets. No.
First of all, you're talking about Ben Simmons.
I watched the Knicks game the other night. Josh, I watched this game the other night, and all I saw down the stretch, it went into overtime. Jalen Brunson was getting hot, and then Julius Randle was just getting the ball on the free throw line
against the Lakers, right?
Doing face-ups. Yeah, dude, it was terrible. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, that team needs to be okay.
Pistons. No, Pistons. I know. No, hold up.
You ain't. Not up in here.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Hold on. We literally dumped all our old players to you guys.
We shouldn't be good. Josh, we shouldn't be good. We're in Detroit. You guys are in New York. You guys are supposed to be good. You guys are supposed to be good.
We heard.
Like, you're New York. We're Detroit.
What is that?
Forget that.
I don't want to hear
all I'm saying is the Knicks need to just blow up. They need to blow it up because they're not going to get anywhere with Julius Randle as their best player.
Jacob, don't mind him. Listen, don't mind Josh. Hey, we're going to get Wemba.
You think RJ Barrett should be their best player?
Pistons going to get the Wemba.
Never got the chance. Be quiet. But stop.
It's over.
Hold up, Jacob. You see how Cade Cunningham got the keys, right? He got the keys.
Well, unfortunately, he's hurt. So, honestly,
no. But listen,
he does. He does. But
right. They drafted him. He's a young player. RJ Barrett gets drafted. We signed Julius Randle. Who do they want to build around? Julius Randle.
He's not good enough.
What do you mean he's not good? They never gave him the chance. What are you talking about?
It's 4 years in the league.
He was ranked He was ranked number 2 in the nation when he was coming into the league. He's not bad.
Reddish was number 3.
Yeah, making it seem like he's terrible. Cam Reddish is worse than him.
If you guys want more of this, I just got approved on playback finally. So you want to watch the OurTeam podcast, watch NBA games, and Josh scream about the Knicks? Please come follow.
That would be fun.
We need it. Like, all of us that are on playback, we need to start doing group things. We need.
Yeah, we definitely we will for sure. I would love to watch a game live with Josh and see the pain that Knicks fandom brings in real time.
Y'all gotta understand, watching the Knicks, I don't get first I just want to put this out there. I feel like everyone downplays it's bad. I don't know why he's getting so much hate, bro. He's not an overrated player or underrated player. He's just a player, bro. That's one. I genuinely believe, and I want y'all to remember I said these words. The moment the Knicks give RJ Barrett the keys, he will prosper. Tom Thibodeau.
I love
this.
I assume by prosper you mean tank for number 1 pick.
Tom Thibodeau benched him. Listen. Tom Thibodeau benched him down the stretch in the Lakers game. We lost in overtime.
I hate to
RJ Barrett The next game, what did he come out and do? He's like, I'm gonna drop 30. Don't you ever bench me in the fourth again.
Is there a way to mute him or not?
I really hate to agree with Josh, but as a former fan of a franchise that employed Tom Thibodeau, he does have a knack for stifling talent. So unfortunately,
we need a new
I have to
coach.
agree with Josh here, which sucks. Speaking of which, can we talk about coaches in my team for a second here? Why have we gotten no new
Your
coaches?
transitions are getting worse and worse, by the way.
What do you mean? No. This is a legitimate question that I need to understand because they gassed coaches for like the last 2 years. I know they're like worthless at this point now, but like, why can we not get more coaches? I thought we were going to get some old school classic coaches at this point. Like, why can't I have Red Auerbacher smoking a stogie on the side?
When they went out of their way to give us Phil Jackson, we all joked about him looking like Colonel
Sanders. Because they did it in the worst way.
Dude, that Phil Jackson thing absolutely got Sam like the most hate in the world from the 2K Gamer account too. But I think that
was it not? I'm pretty sure it was it was the other 2K stuff.
2K21.
It was before that site existed, but it was that crowd. I think. I think that like the problem with coaches is as cool as it would be to get new ones. The problem is like Monty is already way too OP from day one. Like Diamond coaches shouldn't, if they want to do like what they've done in the past 2 years, which is like release coaches, is a part of the power creep the same way they do with players. Like you can't have Monty Williams come out day one because like there's really not that much any higher you can go from that without just being ridiculous. So like
I don't think they've ever
Diamond
about,
coaches
like,
shouldn't exist.
But they've never released any new quote unquote new coaches after day one until season 5 ever. It was day one of season 5 last year, and then it was
5 last year,
start of season 5 for the year before.
Player
they
coaches
released
and all that.
those Age of Heroes coaches when everyone had 99 everything cards.
I'm not really talking
There is
about
2 cards that are
coaches
affected.
for
It was
that,
Giannis
though.
and Ben Simmons.
Ben
Those are
Wait,
the only
don't
2
y'all
cards.
Ben
think
Wallace
they
as
could
well.
change?
Ben Wallace became God as well.
Ben Simmons or Ben Wallace too.
Don't y'all think they could change the boost that they give it? Because like it's always in the past it was Mike D'Antoni every year. You know the speed boost that was like the.
I know you
was
want
like
that
the
pass
main thing.
accuracy boosted.
Yeah, I know.
Oh God, no.
You want
know
Trey
what
to get up to 99.
Yeah.
No, I remember when they-
We nearly got through a podcast without mentioning that.
Yeah. 90,
No, I'm mainly just talking about like for like cosmetic reasons. I'm not talking about like stat boosting coaches. Like I don't think it necessarily matters at this stage. You know, we're getting cards that are going to be basically it's going to be irrelevant to have stat boosting coaches. But
You just
Kinda
want to
what I'm
start an Ostertag revolution with a coach, yes?
no, I just want like okay, as a fan of like NBA history, I would like to see like. You know, it doesn't really matter what the stat boosts are for the coach, but like if I get some of these old school coaches, like it would be really sick. Like Bill Russell on my sideline holding it down. Like that's cool, you know. Also,
we have Bill Russell last year.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like this is the stuff that I'm looking for. Like
last year, we had Steph Curry in a suit as a coach.
Yeah, I would like to bring that back because I enjoyed that. I know people probably didn't enjoy that as much as I did.
This is about to be a 3-hour podcast. Can we just talk about that? Really, like I'm looking. This is
it's kind of crazy.
I just dipped for 40 minutes.
Yeah, you took a lot.
Your chair was holding it down, dude. Your chair was throwing it down for a little bit. You know,
it was
hot takes
and all that.
Guys, we haven't spoken about the Galactic Conquerors at all. Is that what
angle you want to take? With
well, I'm banned. DBG's banned. Matt's banned.
Let me
2 people who can have takes on these cards.
I mean, you saying I got banned, but I did get KG on my nobody spend account, which got banned.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was survived for 2 days, so I used some of them.
These challenges are a bit too challenging, I would say, in the most part.
My housemate snapped pretty much broke control.
Dude, why can't you just show these guys in Lose 2 just how to backwards escape and shoot? Don't get me wrong. It shouldn't be that way, but there is a way to do it very efficiently.
I just do it with normal. I use normal laner.
I'm on the last challenge for the.
I just send cuts,
and I had to post up with one player 15
It shouldn't be that you have to spam a game mechanic, but if you're at the point where you're going to throw a controller because you can't finish it, just spam that game mechanic.
But that's kind of my point, though, at this point, is like 2K's over-reliance on forcing unreasonable difficulty on the player base as a game mechanic. It's not cool, man. Like, I just wish they would understand. They've been operating with this mindset that the harder we make challenges, the more people will like try to burst through it, like on some Josh mentality where it's like, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to like beat the system and stuff like that. But the reality is majority of people who play video games.
Sorry.
I will say this, that no matter what players you have, 80% of players, and it's judged by 80% of people that I play against online, will not be good enough with any player to get more than 4 or 5 of those cards.
I just need 2K to understand that engaging people by having them have fun is more beneficial for them than engaging people by trying to do some type of gauntlet style challenge.
Do you think they know how hard All-Star is?
No, I don't think they know.
I think that's the issue. Is I think they were like, oh, All-Star is like our 3rd highest difficulty, when they don't realize All-Star and Hall of Fame are the same thing.
Dude, All-Star is harder than Hall of Fame because I think the CPU shoots better.
CPU is higher. No, they have the exact same sliders. CPU sliders are the exact same on All-Star and Hall of Fame, and your sliders are the exact same on All-Star and Hall of Fame.
That's kind of the thing that I would like to preach to them, is just like, these challenges would do a lot more for the game mode if they were something that your average person could go out and do and grind for the rest of the year. Because your average person is going to get up to, like, I don't think the OG and Anobi one was as tough as people are saying, but like, they're going to get up to something stupid. Like Seti Osman was the one for me. I could not stop this man no matter what I did. He was backdoor cutting. He was doing flashy dunks over my whole team.
I've got a question for you.
What?
Do you think this is the first year that potentially people have bought MT to get cards just to beat the CPU?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I fully believe that.
Buddy Hield was 50K in the taco challenge.
Yeah,
could have been another time. Yeah, it could have been another time. And
I mean, I really don't think anyone bought MT specifically to go, well, it's possible. They did. Taco was fired.
Yeah. See, and that's the taco challenges. So like I typically agree with Ludez's points about like lowering offline difficulty, because in my mind I'm like, it's offline, so I don't really care about like being challenged offline. But where I do kind of run into a catch-22 on that is like, the taco challenges were really, really fun for me.
But
and
they
I
were
understand
meant to be hard though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that part of it. Like the Gold versus Invincibles first dropped. I tried it this one way and it didn't work. All right, back to the drawing board. I'm gonna try it this way. That didn't really work. And then I figured it out pretty quick. But that like getting defeated by the Invincibles a few times and then finally beating it, like that was a cool feeling for me. And then once I got taco, I was like, that was really difficult, but now I have the best card in the game, and that was super fun. So I don't know, like, I feel like it should be one extreme or the other. Like where this spotlight challenge is, it's in that weird, awkward spot where for someone like me personally, I just literally do backwards escapes and shoot and beat it, like without even thinking. I think I got popped a couple times because I just like wasn't paying enough attention, but it's too hard for like a new person to beat. So this is like in that weird, awkward state. I feel like grind should either be so easy a caveman can do it, or very challenging and difficult, and they're billed that way when they're promoted. They're putting out tweets, test your abilities tomorrow because this one's gonna be a rough one, type of thing. But, and then what the reward is for it is like
they did the opposite last year.
Difficult.
Remember,
right?
last year they made it out like those Embiid challenges were the hardest things ever, and they were incredibly easy. Like those Embiid challenges. Those Embiid challenges were easier than this year's challenges that are meant to be our entry level spotlight sims.
Yeah,
DBG,
agreed.
Because there is something special to be said. Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
What team gave you the most? Well, both of you guys. But did you even do the chop? No, you didn't.
Lakers. I'm trying to beat Lakers with 3 goals. Try to beat Lakers with 3 goal Clippers. Because basically you can't let Magic get more than 5 assists. Or 5 or more assists. And James Worthy is programmed to back cut every single possession. And Magic Johnson is programmed to pass every single possession.
Oh, you know what I was doing? I literally every play, I came to the free throw line and I let Magic shoot. I said, if we're gonna lose this game, I gotta let him shoot.
Yeah, Magic was I would leave Magic open and he would drive in and kick to somebody and they hit a shot.
Mojo, you awake?
I've been waiting to talk for like 20, 30 minutes, man. I had my hand up. I was just trying to go in there, man. I got like 15 minutes of talk just straight right now. But concerning the Galactic, I haven't tried it, but I do know this, that the value of the card should match the grind. So if the cards are OP, I feel like the grind should be that difficult. For instance, with the taco grind, which I still have PTSD to this day doing those gauntlet spotlights. Cookies, if y'all remember, what was one of the hardest for me, at least one of the hardest ones to do. On next gen, it was impossible. You had to go on current and do it. Anyways, cookies, beat the Invincibles, all that. Duncan Robinson was my MVP for that, by the way, but those were difficult, but it matched the value of the cards, end of the card, which was Invincible Taco Fall. So that's just me. On the other side, I wanted to talk about content. I didn't know if it was going to segue into that, but I can say this is that from what DBG and everybody else that has grinded for the Galactic, they said it's very, very difficult. So
I don't think you'll find it difficult. Like, are you looking forward to doing it?
Oh, absolutely. And I feel that you have to have specific cards in order to do it. You know what I'm saying? I know you just can't run no money spending.
You can though. That's the thing. If you just backwards escape and shoot, you can beat it. I was beating like the Seti Osman one with Diamond Karan Butler and 2 Emerald Wizards players. Like,
I mean,
it's
on
possible.
next.
On next gen. That's what I was doing. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
well, some of the
not tough for me,
not,
but that's I shouldn't be the standard. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be the standard. Not to say I'm great by any means, but I'm good enough that I can steamroll the CPU. You know what I mean?
Right.
Until you got to keep them from shooting 2 threes.
But you can't use Series 1 card. That's what I'm saying.
No, and even then, I know all the weird. I know all the
tried a DBG.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible.
No, I was doing it fine on my no money is spent or not no money spent, whatever it was. I started a new account on Blinders and I was doing
your
it fine.
burner.
The worst cards you possibly could have. The cards you could get for 1,000 MT is what I was doing it with. Okay. And like, I mean, that's the thing though. I shouldn't be the standard. An offline grind shouldn't be centered around that. But there is something to be and that's the thing. Ludez does a good job of convincing me for the other side on this one because like. Guards shouldn't be gate kept behind some crazy grind, but at the same time, there is something to be said about something that's challenging. You don't beat it the first few times, and then finally you come down and beat it.
I agree with
that's a special feeling. So, like, I don't really know where I stand on it. I kind of go back and forth. A feeling of
accomplishment in this game is hard to find these days, and I seem to be getting it from this.
Well, like that's what I mean. It's like you're saying you're getting a feeling of accomplishment. The fact that we're getting a feeling of accomplishment means that for anyone who is, I'm not only saying a like brand new player, anyone who has only been playing this game. Anyone who only plays offline, anyone who's been playing this game 3 months, there's no feeling of accomplishment. They're just screwed.
Little Timmy's not playing the spotlights. He's opening.
Little Timmy has 0% chance.
Yeah, but what are they opening super fast for at this point?
I've played against more Kevin Garnett's than I have diamonds from these because everyone who can complete 1 over the last few days has played enough that they've got
beat them all.
Has beat them all, and anyone who hasn't beat them all isn't good enough to beat 1. In general,
I'm the exception. I'm the exception.
Yeah, there are exceptions, but I mean, there are more people you will face with Kevin Garnett than with just a random ass diamond from those.
Can I say one thing? It's kind of boring. It's why I started streaming. I realized that I want to stream when I play the game and I'm bored because it makes playing the game more fun. So the one upside of it is it got me streaming. Right, I think we got a wrap because it's been. Literally,
almost 3 hours.
I must say something real quick before we wrap. The stellar content was great. I want to say they showed so much love to Motown. Cade is nice. My boy Terry Mills, 2 hours 33 on gold.
Yeah,
this man has Curry. Man, he was just a role player, but he's has Kobe Bryant.
He's so good.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant lower and Steph Curry on quick. I mean, he's really nice.
Yeah.
MJ6 as well. I mean, one of the best, not just budget cards, just one of the best I feel like in the stellar set. Besides, obviously Ben Simmons, Scotty, and Chet. And Chet could have been better, but that's another story.
Terry Mills did average 17 and 8 for a season. Just to throw that out there, 17 and 8 ain't nothing to slouch, Chad. He had a good year, a couple good years.
He did bits.
He's a good role player. Yeah,
he did bits.
Cool. Has anyone else got anything they want to touch on MT, VC, unauctionable cards, anything?
I want to say something real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
I want to quote somebody that is in here right now. He said, "People legitimately get annoyed when I don't take an anti-2K stance to something. It is as if people don't realize that we can have both positive and negative opinions about different aspects of the game." LOL, which that was DBG. I want to say something. I think that's one of the best things I've heard in a long time. Me personally, I think that we should have all opinions, not just be on one extreme or the other. That's why I'm glad that you made the disclaimer. Keep an open mind today. It was very imperative because if you don't have an open mind, if you're on one side or the other, you're not going to get anywhere. If you are on your high horse or if you're on the other end, it's not going to work out. So first and foremost, I just wanted to say that quote because that tweet, because that is very important for me, especially, as a content creator. I want to be as unbiased as possible. As much as I criticize something, I also want to applaud it as well. So I just wanted to hit on that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah, I do wanna say something.
Yeah.
At the start of the stream, when it looked like I had just been console banned and completely banned for playing the game, it did seem like this is all we want to make a point and a thing. Considering the fact that I'm unbanned now, I have no idea why I got banned on my main account, on my no money spent account. I have absolutely no idea. But it seems like it wasn't a targeted thing. It does not seem like it was a target to DBG, which I did say at the start, which we all kind of came into agreement. And the fact that since I have been unbanned on one of the accounts, it seems like something got flagged. I don't know what the hell got flagged because it was not my spent account. It seems like it wasn't a targeted thing. It seems like something just got flagged.
Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah, cool. I want to follow up a little bit on what Matt said. Like, we got to a point. Matt has been trolling this week, trying to make me community manager, and all sorts has been going on.
Hire Jazz, hire him. Hashtag.
I think in a lot of ways we've seen the best of our community this week because a bunch of people got banned, but the overall arc, whether we started there or not, got to something quite positive. And I think we've reached a bunch of solutions today. I want to put a solution out there just as an ending point. I think we've seen some progress since the bans happened. We've seen 2K take steps in the right direction. I think that next step in the right direction is to make these 10% packs available in game, in all game modes all week. Make that an option for people. Put them in the TTO boards. Put them on the wheel. If someone can farm 50 to 60 of these unauctionable packs every week, I think that's already an immediate deterrent. I don't see a reason not to do that. It would change the way I play the game because I might be more focused on just playing Unlimited or just playing TTO to get a free Scottie Pippen rather than, grinding side quests in the agendas. So I think that's the obvious no-brainer next step for 2K. I would love to see that. But I just want to end with I don't want to say impressed because it sounds pretentious, but I'm surprised by how accepting the community has been of this situation and how there seems to be a collective desire to move forward from this to a more positive outcome for everyone. And whether that's cheaper VC, whether that's more availability for packs, or whether that's understanding the reality and the dark side of MT sites, whether all of these things, I think people have been open-minded to it. Obviously, there's been a few people that can't really get their head around that middle space, and that's more a disposition thing than a game thing. But overall, it's been impressive to see this week how people have responded to this. The maturity I've seen in my streams about it from people that have been banned, even unfairly in some instances. So yeah, just proud of the community this week. Anyone got anything else?
I was going to say at the end of the day, when people were buying MT, they were buying MT because they wanted to get the cards, and they either had experience of it, or they were seeing people spending hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on these packs to not get the cards. And it felt like the only way they were going to be able to get the cards was through purchasing MT. I don't think a lot of people purchased MT out of, there are people that are just going to take an anti-2K stance no matter what, but nobody purchased MT out of it wanting to give the finger to 2K. Whereas now people are seeing, they're like, okay, it's at least comparable cost-wise to buying cards via MT and buying cards via VC, but at least now there's no risk of a ban. The cost to get, people put in the money to get the cards. That's why people bought MT. And I don't begrudge anyone for doing it, because at the end of the day, we all have our money. Like, there are less than 1% people that have, less than a fraction of a percent that have $1,000 a week to pay to gamble away in order in the previous system to get all the best cards. And now, even though it is still gambling, I really, really cannot stress enough it's still gambling. And I really want there to be some sort of a system in for at least give people an option to get one card without gambling, whatever they think VC price is good.
Yeah.
People can now get the cards with an amount of MT or an amount of money that, while is ridiculous, like $50 to $100 a week is a ridiculous amount, but it's not quite as ridiculous as $1,000 a week.
Well, and it makes the cards on the auction cheaper too, because more people are pulling the unauctionable versions of the cards, so then there'll be less demand for that card in the auction house, since more people who potentially would be that demand are pulling the card straight away. Yeah. So it does make the cards cheaper too. Like Ben Simmons, how much was he? How much is Ben Simmons? I don't know. I'm banned, so y'all can tell me. But see, that's so cheap. He would have been 1.5 if he was in the previous system.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you can come up with 350. You know what I mean? You can come up with 350 if you play the game regularly, and that's the card you want. I'm not saying you come up with 2 million, because you can't unless you like badge up a card with every Hoth and get lucky. You know what I mean? Like you actually you can fathom 350K. Is like a player who plays regularly without spending money. And that's Ben Simmons we're talking about, who is literally the most broken point guard in the game by a mile. And then the other cards, like Scotty's like what? Scotty's 150 or something? Like that's crazy, because he's a dog.
I think he's better than
it'll only have good effects if they continue to do it. If they take it away, I'll be asking Jazz to come back on the podcast, because I'll definitely have to get off my chest.
Man.
Yeah. I'm going to end on a note just really quickly. I appreciate everyone who reached out to come on the podcast this week. Obviously, we could only have X amount of people, and I feel like I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I think we got the right people on to get everything out and have the full conversation. Did you guys enjoy yourselves?
Yeah,
always.
Thank you for doing this, Jazz. For real, man. I really do appreciate like everything you've done with this podcast and created. I think that it's been a huge thing for the community. I think everyone who comes on here enjoys their time on here. I mean, all around, like, just overall super impressed and proud to say that I've like been kind of a part of it since the start. So
thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Right, that's the perfect note to end on. For everything Jacob just said, like and subscribe. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then for me and the guys, we'll catch you on the next one.